What is going on, everybody? You already know I go by Philly Mike, and
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy RB from Philly Take with RB. Ready to talk some sports here with Mike, man. It's been a crazy series of events in the last couple of days, man. We got a lot to talk about.
yeah, man, it's been crazy. Why is it not showing it? Hold up. Showing it. All right. So, what do you think about this whole no sports? What do you think about this?
Well, let's just start off with it's very, very unique, like something we've never seen before. That's for sure. Like, it's almost like shocking, and at the same time, I'm like, I kind of don't know what to do, because like sports are a big part of my life, and especially Philly sports. And I'm like, watching the game last night. We're going through, we get a big win. The Flyers just came off a big win streak. I'm getting ready for the Philly season to start, and I'm just like, I'm excited, man. Like sports are just never ending. And then to see something like this happen and just kind of one of those things where it's just a domino effect, like first the NBA, Rudy Gobert, now Donovan Mitchell, and now the NHL's gone. One of my favorite things of the whole year, March Madness, that's probably gone. Baseball is gone. Like at this point, I just don't know what to feel. I will say I'm kind of in shock still. Like I cannot believe that it has gotten this bad. This is really bad. What do you think?
I agree with you. I mean, like I said, so, we got the whole full effect of 2019 into 2020 NFL. The basketball intake has been up and down. We all know as Sixers fans, we come on here loving the team, then we come on here hating the team for different reasons. Sometimes a superstar is not doing what he needs to do. Sometimes it's Brett Brown. A lot of things happen with the Philadelphia 76ers, but every time you feel like something's going to go good, with the team, it either goes back or now in this case, we're not playing no more. And like you said, Flyers were promising, baseball season was about to start, sports in general. As the average fan, even without YouTube and all that, like what is life without, some type of athletic thing that you can watch? You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy. And to see that this thing, I mean, it's not only affecting the sports world, it's going to affect us in general as well. But like I said, some people are going a little bit too panicked. Some people are not panicking enough. You just got to be right in between, take care of yourself, and just go about your business and just, wait until these two things come back to us.
Yeah, man. It's like you said, it's like every single day, at least of my life, includes some kind of sport activity, whether I'm just coming home and just watching a game or, it doesn't even have to just be the Phillies teams, like some game on TV. I'm always tuned into Sports Center. Get up in the morning, I'm checking the ESPN app. I'm on Twitter checking news and everything. And now it's just all comes to a halt at once. And it's like, it's weird, man. It's like something we've never seen. Like we are living through history. And I know, I mean, some people even, this is their job. This is their life. Some people bet on sports, and I don't know, man, just everything is coming to a crash at once. I mean, the stock market's crashing, the sports world, like just the whole economy, everything is plummeting, man. This is a weird time.
Yo, it really is. And so we're going to ask the chat a quick question. But before we do that, Philly Wolf 90, what is going on? Anthony Bright, American Tar Tracker, Philly Hype Fan, Carapool, Superhero 18, Billy G, Nick, Jared, what's going on with you guys?
Hey, shout out to everyone in the chat, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. Last time was fun. We got a lot to talk about today, man.
We definitely do.
Everyone in the chat, how do y'all feel? What is your immediate reaction to this news? Immediate as of last night. Like, let me know what you're thinking.
Yeah. Oh. Real quick in the comment section, put your quick thoughts. It don't got to be big. And if you can explain it in a quick sentence, what was your gut feeling when you heard the NBA was officially suspended, and then you knew a domino effect was going to probably happen with something like baseball, something like college March Madness, NHL, and like you said, luckily the Eagles don't start till August. And the way we hear it is possibly that NBA season might not start until August. That's the last thing I kind of heard. So, I mean, we're going to have preseason football and, 15 games left of the season. I don't know how that's going to work out, but I don't know. I just don't know.
I was hearing, well, hopefully, let's say first and foremost, I hope it doesn't get that far. If it does, we have a serious problem. Like, we already have a serious problem. If it gets that far, man, like something, I don't know what to do at that point. But I was hearing they were throwing around the phrase May Madness today instead of March Madness. Hopefully we can get something worked out by then. We can start up NCAA tournament. We can start up baseball. We can start up hockey, basketball. We can all do it on the same day, have like a 4-way opener. Call it May Madness. How's that sound to you?
Yo, that actually it got a little ring to it. And yo, real quick, I'm just going through the comments and someone said sup Mike and his name is coronavirus. Like, what?
Oh man, it's in the chat now.
It's in the
all
chat.
Around this, man.
That's wild. But yeah, Stephen Joyce, what's going on? Like I said, so some of these guys, let's get to them. So Ronald said we got the break we needed. And I heard a lot of people say this, like the Philly fans that really want to try to turn this season around, although they miss basketball, they know this team cannot do what it really wants to do without a healthy Ben Simmons. And that pinched nerve can be a problem. If this never happened, and we're talking about 17 games left of the season, 16 games around there,
Yep.
I don't think he's coming back with this pinched nerve. It looks pretty serious.
Yeah, I know we talked yesterday, and I was telling you, like, I really am pessimistic about this whole situation. This was before it got canceled, like, I mean, when the Sixers come out and they try to hide things, when Ben Simmons won't answer certain questions, he has a media relations guy there telling him, oh, you can't answer this, dancing around, the usual stuff. I mean, that just presents a negative situation. Like, obviously, I think it's bad, even worse than they might be telling us. So I think this extended period of time will for sure help Ben Simmons. And if he can come back and if we get the season back on track, I mean, it is a whole different story with Ben Simmons, playoff Ben Simmons, as long as he's utilized right. We heard the Jimmy Butler comments and everything. As long as he's utilized right with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, with the way I saw Brett Brown coach a game yesterday, this team can win, but it has to be consistent,
Yeah. Can we get that, straight ride, not the roller coaster that we've been going through? Let's read some other initial reactions. So let's start with where was I now?
After coronavirus, I think.
Oh, yeah, let's just go after that. So Nick Jur, mad as the word. I don't want to say it on YouTube because I might be able to monetize this. Ben Simmons is coming back, Ronald says. Rick Burnett said shocked in real life. Ricky Del Alonzo, it sucks. American Tar Tracker, Brent Brown got bailed out by Corona.
That's an interesting comment, though. I'll be honest with you, because I'm hearing a lot of people today, like, trying to tell me that Brett Brown has had his job saved now by the coronavirus. And I want your instant reaction to that. And please, anyone in the chat, give me some hope. Please tell me it isn't so. Please.
Again, because we don't know when this season is going to end, I mean, the only way I think Brett Brown's job could be saved is if we go on a deep run. And deep run means Eastern Conference Finals at the least. That's the least farthest we could get for Brett Brown's job to be saved. If it was a first round exit, even a second round exit, I think the writing's on the wall with, First Take has said it sometimes. Colin other platforms have said it, not just YouTube, not just you guys fans, not just us fans. Other platforms have said it. I think because of the stature we have coming into the season, championship or bust. That's why we're not pulling a Brooklyn Nets and getting rid of our coach soon, because the Brooklyn Nets, although they might make the 8th seed in the playoffs, maybe they didn't have big expectations without KD. We had finals or bust, and so I think it's going to Elton Brand will let this run its course until it's either not going to work, and then we'll go about our business then. And now we got an extended time to see if it's going to work because we don't know.
Well, you're absolutely right. I mean, at the point we were at in the season, I knew Brett Brown is riding this thing out. Now there's definitely an interesting question. If we're 3 months down the road till we even get back into action, I mean, maybe another coach could potentially spark this team. Like you said, though, I don't see it happening. Knowing Elton Brand and how he's operated things so far, I think he's going to let Brett Brown ride this thing out. Like you said, if he doesn't even touch the Eastern Conference Finals, there's no question about this. 3 second-round exits in a row will not cut it, especially with this team, especially with the expectations. All we heard coming into the year, defense, expectations. This team can go to the finals. The East is weak. We heard all of that. But in reality, the Toronto Raptors don't have a star, and they're playing better than the Sixers. The Boston Celtics are, I mean, they lost Kyrie Irving. They got Kemba Walker. They have talent. But, I mean, what I was hearing at the beginning of the year was the Sixers were going to be able to stop everyone in their tracks. Game 1 of the season, the way they played Boston, I thought this team was legit. But in reality, he hasn't gotten the most out of the players. And now we're fighting to keep the 6th seed to play Boston maybe in the first round. Things do not look good. Like I said, even the wins, a lot of the wins this year, I mean, the record looks nice, but a lot of it has been carried by the talent of the players. This team should have a lot more wins than they do. And that's just the fact of the matter.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the losses against Atlanta, the Knicks, the Cavs, the Golden State Warriors, these are losses that, you might get 1, maybe 2 a year. We already have a handful of these bogus losses. Injuries has played a part. Joel Embiid missed time. Then a lot of people keep on and off missing, but there was still no excuses for a game like the Golden State Warriors. But real quick, I just want to, a lot of guys are saying first thoughts was, damn, it's really that serious. Nick Jer said, I kind of wanted to see a game with no crowd. I mean, that would be interesting to hear the announcer talking, the music they play in the background, and just crickets. When you just hear a bunch of, squeaking of the shoes on the floor and a bunch of it would have probably been weird and unique to see.
Dude, I would not have liked that for sure. I know the players were joking about it. They were like, yeah, the trash talk is going to be at an all-time high. We don't have to worry about other fans or little kids hearing it. But to me, just an empty gym. Imagine watching a game and you just see blank seats, an empty gym. That would be weird to me. I thought that was going to be the next step. I didn't see this change happening as abruptly as it did. It was just smacked you out of nowhere. But they took a big step, and I commend them for it. The NBA took action on we see a lot of these sports teams and the leagues overall with issues lately. I mean, they haven't taken action as quick, and they're criticized for that a lot. But Adam Silver, he put his foot down, and obviously he had to, because you can't play when one of the guys has corona.
Go ahead, you can read this one, take this one.
From coronavirus, no sports, stuck with watching chick flicks with wifey. Hey, all credit to you, man. You got to find something to do, right? We're all adjusting.
Yeah, get your brownie points up now, so when sports come back, she leave you alone for a little bit. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, like I said, with all that being said, let's transfer to some Eagles talk for a little bit. We're gonna get back to Sixers talk as well. We're gonna flip flopping back and forth. Let us know what y'all thinking in the chat as well. So the Eagles draft is coming up now. The Eagles news again, off season for any football year. It's long, it's dreadful, but March 16th is coming up. We got the free agency coming. We got the draft in April. I mean, you already heard Doug Peterson and a lot of these organizations are shutting down the facility. I think the Bills shut the facility down. The Niners shut the facility down. We shut the facility down for the time being. I mean, they don't need much practice right now. It's just that it's probably going to hamper some of this, intense scouting, having these guys from the organization go to these places and really get their P's and Q's on these players. Howie's already missed in the draft. We thought JJ Arcega-Whiteside was going to be a baller, and my goodness. Now, again, I'm not going to just call him a bust yet. I'm going to hold some faith out, give him the benefit of the doubt, but it's not looking good. So this is a draft and a free agency we have to hit. It's Carson's time. It's the Eagles' time. Like I said, we were contenders for a reason. We got injuries and more injuries than almost any team in the NFL. So with that being said, what would be your top free agent targets in this offseason when it starts in a couple of days?
Well, as a side note, I did hear that they might even delay that. That's how bad this has gotten. But, pending that the free agency does start this upcoming week, I think the main positions that we have to look at are cornerback, linebacker, and obviously wide receiver. Now, whether that's a culmination of the draft and free agency, I just believe those are the main things we need to look at. We need some playmakers on this team, whether we go out and make a big splash like a Byron Jones or a Darius Slay, or whether we go out and, wait for the draft and, try to make ends meet in free agency. I'm not sure because the Sixers, they've signed some big free agents before, but I know they spend a lot of time in that draft process. So what you said about how it's going to be hampered now, I mean, that's an interesting piece, because we see some of these guys in college and, things are absolutely changed at the combine. Guys, their stock rises. They go from third, fourth round. They can rise all the way up to the end of the first round, So I think that's going to definitely hurt guys' draft stock. It's going to be interesting. We might see a lot of lower picks turn out to be successful in this draft, but I would say the number one thing is go out and possibly make a splash right away in cornerback. And, we got to fill up some of these holes. To me, it's not even more about signing 2 or 3 big free agents. It's about filling up the holes in this team. You got to have depth, man. We saw last year. Who were we playing at wide receiver? Who?
Practice squad guys.
No one had more than 500 receiving yards at the wide receiver position. I'm all about, building a culture where we don't have to have one star that gets 1,300 yards. That's just my opinion. I like having a fully balanced offense, a fully balanced defense. And I think we need some playmakers on this team. What do you think? This man did freeze. All right, then. Hopefully he'll come back in the chat in just a few minutes. But, hey, let me know in the chat right now, what position do y'all think is the most imminent for the Eagles to address? Let me know. And I'm about to see what's up with Mike. Wide receiver, then corner, wide receiver, safety, wide receiver and linebacker, or quarterback. Quarterback? What do you mean, backup quarterback? Wide receiver, corner, and DL. What's up, Philly Fresh? Shout out to you, my boy. Go hit him up too. Go sub to his channel. He's a good Philly YouTuber. Cornerback, linebacker, D tackle. Interesting. What do you guys think about the Alshon Jeffery situation? Because, I see a lot of you guys saying wide receiver. What do you think we should do with Alshon? Should we trade him? Should we cut him? Should we take the hit? What do you guys think? Because for me personally, I think Alshon's time is up. If you would have asked me a couple months ago, I was one of the people that was actually trying to, ride it out, trying to stay with Alshon. I think, he's been a great wide receiver for this team during the Super Bowl year and after. Obviously had that, that terrible drop in the playoff game against the Saints. But, overall, Alshon has done good for this team. Obviously, this last year he was hurt, and now with all the complications in the locker room, The Eagles have never been really that type of team to support that kind of culture. We heard about, him having a conflict with someone in the locker room, kind of almost got into a fight or whatever. But I don't know. Let me know what you think we should do with Alshon. Let's see.
I don't know what happened to my laptop. I bumped it and it like went off.
There he is. We're just talking about Alshon Jeffery at the moment, trying to get some opinions on what we should do with him.
Real quick before I talk about Alshon Jeffery, Worldwide West, this dude does great Sixer streams. He actually streams a game, gives you his live reaction. So if you're not subbed to him, go check this man out. He does some great streams. If you somehow can't watch the game yourself, or you just want to hear, the people talk in the chat, go check him out, Worldwide West on YouTube. And like I said, he doesn't really do videos about the game. He doesn't do what me and RB do when it comes to post games and videos about it throughout the week, but he does the live stream reaction. So check him out.
Hey, shout out to him, man. I'm going to go sub him up. Definitely.
So yeah, Alshon Jeffery, I had a lot of thorough talks about Alshon Jeffery. There's a couple people, Eagle fans that love this dude for what he did. And I understand that, man. The dude played with a separated shoulder in the Super Bowl, balled out with Nick Foles. People tend to forget that this man did ball out with Carson Wentz that year too. The 13 games that Carson Wentz played, he played great with him. I just think over time, after the Nick Foles, the nagging injuries, just knowing he can't do what he can do, frustrated him enough to come at people the way he's been coming. But at the end of the day, here's what it comes down to. The dude won't be healthy to the middle of the season. His contract is huge. If for some way we could get his contract off the books and get something in return or just break even, I think we got to do it because of his age and because of the money. Now, the other biggest point is the fact that if he can't get along with Carson Wentz, and it's not like I'm just saying like everybody got to bow down to Carson Wentz, but when you pay Carson Wentz that type of money, you have to fall in line to he got to be the leader. He's the franchise guy. So you don't have to like him, but you got to respect him. There's a difference thing. You don't have to like him, but you got to respect him. And that's where it falls down to. We have to get that. We can't go into 2020 with more anonymous sources and stuff along that lines, whether it be Nelson Aguilar, Alshon Jeffery, who really knows at this point. I don't care, but we got to stop that. Championship teams don't have anonymous sources.
Yep, I agree. I was just talking about how like Jeffrey Lurie especially has never really supported a culture like that, like all the Eagles are about grit and toughness and dudes working hard, with the exception of a few we've seen before. But overall, like that Super Bowl team in 2017, those guys, they just put their head down and work. We never heard anyone come out before, like at that time and say, I need to be the man. I need the ball. That's what made that run so special. We were counted out, but those guys put their head down and worked hard. And like you said, I think it's Alshon's time, If there is the opportunity to get something for him, we have to send him off wherever we can. We got to start younger. He needs to go. Aguilar needs to go because I appreciate Aguilar for what he did, but I don't support, not going all out for balls, and, trying to make excuses to the media. I'm not about that. I think we need to start younger, just start bridging younger. I mean, we have two solid tight ends. Dallas Goedert needs to be utilized more. Overall, this offense can be lethal. And Carson Wentz, I don't want to hear any Carson Wentz hate. The dude literally put this team on his back down the stretch. I appreciate Nick Foles for what he did. Nick will forever have a spot in this city in my heart. But we don't need Nick Foles to come back here, We'll find a backup quarterback, but this is Carson's team. We paid him to be the man. This is Carson's team going forward. And if we surround him with the right weapons, the dude is capable of winning a Super Bowl. That's just my opinion.
I agree 100% with that opinion. Like I said, now, again, this is now going to be a couple years off the ACL. You know what I'm saying? And again, last year, it was a crazy year when it comes to another full set of injuries all over the offense, on the defense. When the offense was healthy, the defense wasn't, and vice versa. Philly boy 215. I agree 100% with you. D-Jax is about to ball out. I think even though his age and he's been injured the last couple of years in Tampa, a little bit in Washington, and now first year in Philly back and injured. But this is the most time he's had off in his whole career. Basically played one and a half games or 1.25 games all season. I think he's going to come back good. We're going to get either a full season or close to it with maybe just a game or two, some managing, maybe a little bit this, but nothing that's going to keep him out long term. And then whoever we pair in the draft with him, because like I said, I do think we're going to get someone in free agency, whether it be a wide receiver and a corner or a corner and a linebacker. We're going to get two guys, I think, in this offseason free agency. But I do believe the first round pick is going to be a wide receiver unless we stay at 21 and there's just a must take safety or a must take corner. I don't even think safety. I think the only thing that will shy us off a receiver is if we don't get a corner in free agency and there's a guy like a Trevon Diggs or a CJ Henderson maybe right there. But then again, I just think they're going to be all in on a guy like Byron Jones. And like I said, if you guys watch my videos, I'm not too sure about it. Is the guy better than what we have? Of course. But is he worth 16, 17 million a year long term? That's where I can say I think so.
I absolutely agree. To the first point about Djax, I think he's going to have a monster year. I think he was set out to have a monster year this past year. I mean, just from the first game I saw him go deep twice. I mean, he's the dude that Carson Wentz needs to stretch the field. He's the dude that this offense needs. I don't think we're going to see any, big age within him. I think he's going to be just fine. I think when we support him with the other weapons, I think this offense can be lethal as long as, the right flow is in this offense, as long as the right plays are being called. That's a different question for a different day. But, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. We don't have an offensive coordinator. We have a whole bunch of dudes with different titles, but we don't really have a coordinator. So, I mean, most of it's going to fall on Doug. But we'll see. I think those guys are going to really help out Wentz. And like you said, I think the first round is easily a wide receiver, whether it's Ruggs, Jefferson, Rager, any of them. We need a baller on offense. And then on defense, we need a corner. Like you said, that is imminent. Now, for me, I don't know if I would go out and pay Byron Jones all that money because I've seen the Eagles do it before. I've seen us bring big names in, and I'm tired. I'm tired of watching these dudes get burnt every single week. I honestly think it's more of a coaching issue. We have not had a legit corner or at least legit corner play, per se, since Asante Samuel. I miss Asante. The way that dude used to come out every single week. He was on his men no matter what. I mean, we bring big names in. We bring, Cromartie, Nnamdi Asomugha. We brought then we pay Byron Maxwell a whole bunch of money, and it all goes to waste. These dudes continue to get burnt. We have some good guys now that are young, but I need to see development with them. And maybe we go out and pay big money to like a Byron Jones or go and get a Darius Slay. I don't know why, but it just seems like when we bring these dudes here, something happens. I don't know.
I agree. Jim Schwartz is going to leave people on an island. He's going to play a single high safety. He's going to use Malcolm Jenkins in the box. 2017, we got there. The pass rush got there, and that's why a guy like Ronald Darby looked a little better. A guy like Jalen Mills looked a little better. They weren't still good corners, but when the pass rush gets there, it takes C-plus corners and turn them to B-plus corners. It will jump them a grade level up just getting the pass rush there. I mean, at the end of the day, even the best corner in the world can't guard a receiver for 7 seconds. They're going to get open. You got to get a pass rush there. And real quick, I want to hit some of these comments. Carol Poole, we have an offensive committee when it comes to the offensive coordinator. I agree with that one. And I wanted to get to this one real quick. Max, the Sixers fan, we should trade up to number 8 and draft Henderson. Are you talking about CJ Henderson from Florida, the cornerback?
I think that's what you're talking about, yeah.
Because I think Henderson's going to be close to the 20s, if not like 18, 19, 20, 21. That's where I see him going. I can see a team like the Cowboys taking him because especially if they lose Byron Jones, they want to replace corner. The Cowboys at I think they're what, 19? No, 17.
I think they're 17.
17. But let me know about that. And
yeah, man, I definitely project him to go late first round. If the Eagles are trading up for anyone, to me, I think the best person to trade up for maybe would be Isaiah Simmons. I'm telling you, we need a baller. Our linebacker position, I know Nigel Bradham is gone now. Like, really, who do we have? And the past years, it seems like those dudes, I mean, obviously everyone, the injuries of the past 2 years have been catastrophic. Like, how do you even see your whole team getting hurt like that? But linebacker, I'm telling you, those guys are more important than a lot of people make them out to be. We need a baller at that position. Who was it? The guy on the Steelers last year that was just going absolutely nuts. I think he was like the 10th pick in the draft or something. I forget his name right now.
Yeah, I forgot. Shaquille. No,
No, it was
I know who you're talking about though. The dude, he was a baller.
Nuts. He set the tone on that defense. And that's the reason why the Steelers were winning games. I mean, the dude was a machine.
Yeah, their defense only is what we're carrying them. But yeah, I agree. We move up. If we move up, try to get close to 10. I don't really know. But like I don't think you have to move up too far to get a guy like Henry Ruggs. I think 15, 16-ish is where Henry Ruggs you would move up to get him. And with that, you would I think you could package a deal to the Denver Broncos, something along the lines like this. You give your first pick at 21. You give them one of your third picks because we got two. We got pick 85th overall and pick 103. So you try to give them the 103. And then you give them maybe your latest fourth or a fifth. So you give them, so they get a first pick, 6 picks later, an extra third and an extra fifth. And you move up 6 spots, especially if they want an offensive tackle, because I think they're going kind of offensive tackle-ish, maybe receiver too, and so they might say no at that point. But yeah, Max, the Sixers fan, says he wants to go all the way up to 8 and get CJ Henderson. I'm going to pay attention to that. I want to see where CJ falls because a lot of mock drafts and where I have him on my board is earliest in the teens, and I could see him falling into the 20s. But hey, I do like him out of Florida. So because this wide receiver draft is so deep, if the Eagles do their due diligence and realize they can get a guy like Rieger, Hamler, even maybe Denzel Mims or a Claypool, and they know they can get him in the second round all the way at 53, maybe they go corner first because it's a lot deeper at wide receiver than it is at corner. But I do think they're going to be dead set on a receiver, maybe even moving up a little bit to get Henry Ruggs. But yeah, man, I wouldn't be surprised.
I agree with you. I mean, I feel like Ruggs would be a great fit. Just he brings everything to the table, you know? I mean, I watch him at the combine. The dude is lightning speed. Pair him with D-Jax. I mean, it's going to get scary out here. It really is.
And people want this guy who can do it all. Like, you know, the T. Higgins and the Jeff Jeffersons who got that speed to get down the field a little bit, but also big body receiver. People, our tight ends do that for us. If we got 2 guys on the outside fast and you got Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz to be your chain movers, the guys that go up and get you 10 yards, 15 yards, red zone threats. We got that. But answer this question, Exatelli. In the event we get Byron Jones as our number 1 corner, who do you guys want as our number 2 cornerback? Like, who's on the team that you think could play on side of Byron Jones?
That's interesting because I feel like in terms of who we have, I don't know who is going to take that next step. The one dude that I really want to see take that next step is Sidney Jones because, watching him, I remember when he got hurt in that draft, and it's been disappointing so far. When he comes in, he doesn't look like he has his feet under him. I want to see him take that move now. I know a lot of people like Jalen Mills. Me, I've never really been a Jalen Mills kind of dude. I think he's too small for the position. I think, honestly, most of our guys are kind of small for the position. Now, Ronald Darby, he's out of here, right? I'm pretty sure he's probably going to be gone. Rasul Douglas, he's just not consistent enough. So if there's one dude I want to see them develop and take that step is Sidney Jones because I think the potential is there. But then again, I've seen a lot of other guys with a lot of potential, and what is there to show for it? Nothing.
I agree 100%. Sidney Jones, like I said, I like what I saw at the end of the season. Now, the coaching staff didn't trust him enough yet to get him in and play a full 60 minutes, but they put him in sparingly and in spare times. I remember one or two big third downs against the Giants. He came in and did what he needed to do. And you
Yep.
saw the play against Michael Gallup at the end of the season.
Yep.
Stride for stride with Gallup, and Gallup was coming into his own. I mean, he had some monster games this season. Sidney Jones was left on the island, and he defended that island. Now, I think guys like, I know Crevion LeBlanc, I like a lot. I think he's going to stay in the slot. I do like Avonte Maddox as well, who's a slot guy who, if needs to be forced outside, can. But I really do think they're going to start to implement Sidney Jones on the outside and let him rock, for the simple fact this is his last year on his rookie deal. So what we see this year is going to say to the Eagles, are we going to pay this guy or are we going to let him walk? Because after this year, 2020, if it happens, which it should, but if it happens, we got to see something from him or he's not going to be worth keeping. And people don't realize how bad right now our secondary is. Ronald Darby, free agent. Jalen Mills, free agent. Ronnie McLeod, free agent. Malcolm Jenkins holding out. So right now, all the starting back, everybody in the secondary, from the two cornerbacks to the two safeties, all might not be there. So you might have to bring one of them back no matter what. And a guy like to bring Malcolm Jenkins is a must. I think you got to restructure his contract. I know people want to get younger there, but the age has to do with injury, and this guy does not get injured, so I'm cool with it. And he's not asking to be a top paid safety, just more than what he's making now, 7-8 million. I think he wants to get like 10-12.
Yep. I think Malcolm Jenkins is the first key to this defense. I mean, the dude, people respect him. They follow in how he plays, you know? Like, he's always showing up in some type of way for an Eagles game. I know he had a little bad stretch this past year, but like you said, the dude really doesn't look like he aged at all. I mean, coming over from the Saints, that to me is one of the, maybe the best free agent signings in Eagles history. The way that dude just stepped in from day one, and he's there every single week, and he plays his heart out. And to your point about Avonte Maddox, I forgot about him. I really liked what I saw from him the first year when he came in, not this past year, but before. I know that he had a couple bad games this year, but overall, I kind of like Avonte at safety. Like, what do you think about that? I mean, the dude, I think when he was at safety originally, before the injuries in 2018, when they moved him to corner, I feel like Malcolm Jenkins taught that kid a lot in a little bit of time. He, to me, modeled his game after Malcolm. I mean, he's what I've wanted to see from these Eagles corners. He's aggressive. He doesn't sit back and play 5 yards off the dude. He's up.
Yeah, I agree. And people don't realize his vertical is big. So he's a little guy, but he can get up there. And see, the Eagles got a problem right now with both Malcolm Jenkins and Ronnie McLeod. And I'm going to answer this, and it's going to lead me back into Avonte Maddox. What is your thoughts on about keeping Ronnie McLeod? I think the dude's solid. When we got him from the Rams, I thought he was a pretty good safety. He got hurt for the rest of the year. Last year, he was kind of up and down. At the end of the season, he started laying some big hits. I think because of his age and whatnot, he wants to get not paid, but I think the contract's going to be too much to the Eagles' liking, and that's where I think we part ways because of the money. If he would take a cheaper deal, I wouldn't be opposed to bringing him back because he's not the best, but he's not Ronald Darby, you know what I mean, where he's just missing on plays, missing on tackles. But at the end of the day, I don't think the money's going to be there. And the Eagles got, like, the chat's probably going to agree with me, and a lot of Eagle fans, but Jalen Mills was a safety in LSU. They converted him to corner. You can always try him at safety. Maybe he won't be as bad at times as he is in corner. And he does play the ball sometimes good. He's just up and down as well. And a guy like Rasul Douglas, who we all know is good at playing zone but can't run with a guy down the field. He looks like he could possibly play safety. But I don't think the Eagles really consider that because, again, when they needed a safety, they picked Avonte Maddox over all these guys. So
I agree with you there. I feel like that concept of, guarding down the field is so huge because, like, for years now, we've seen this Eagles team. They're so good in the red zone. They're so good. We have to limit those big plays. That's honestly what kills us in a football game. If you notice, I mean, we'll take 7 minutes off the clock, let them come down and hold them to 3. The Eagles' defense is so good in the red zone, but we can't give up the big plays. And, to me, it was just more of a timing situation as well. Like on a 3rd and 15, why are you playing 10 yards off the dude? And you know what I mean? Like it was just the opportunities at times, like whether it was a 4th and 5 and we let them convert, or a 3rd and long. Like I was just seeing way too many of those. And at times Jim Schwartz converts to soft defense. Like you said, our defensive line, they were and they still are, at least to me, are filled with so much talent. Blitz. We saw 4 blitzes at the end of the season. Blitz. We had the dudes send Malcolm on a surprise attack. You know what I mean? The dude gets to the quarterback. I need to see some adjustments there.
I definitely agree. And that's Jim Schwartz thing. He goes into a game, he either has a really good game plan and we hold a team to 17 points like we did against Seattle, like we did against a couple teams this year, or the game plan he goes into with doesn't work and he doesn't adjust. He's a guy that when he makes a game plan, he's going to stick with it. Good, bad, ugly, sad. He doesn't adjust. And that's where we lose on that. But Rivals BT said the same thing. I think they make Maddox a free safety because of the new DB coach. I agree 100%. Let's get to some of these so we can get to because I'm far behind on them. What round would you draft a pass rusher? Go ahead. I'm going to let you take that one.
Ooh, that's a good one. Honestly, I'm looking by at least round 3, maybe into round 4, but we have to get someone. You know what I mean? Like, this team, we still have dudes. We still have people, but you can never have enough options, as we've seen. I mean, I'm expecting the Eagles to go into the season and probably get some injuries because I don't know what the heck's up with the medical staff. But honestly, I'm targeting maybe the 3rd or 4th round for a pass rusher.
I agree. And the Eagles value pass rushers like no other. They really value the pass rushers. You heard Howie when the whole Jalen Ramsey thing came through. He officially said after we didn't get Jalen Ramsey, he straight said, look, we went after him. They wanted too much. And we do value cornerback, but he pretty much hinted that like, and a premier pass rusher, he would have maybe went the extra distance because the Eagles know look at the Eagles team. We're built in the trenches. You have a good offensive line and a good defensive line. Everything else comes to play. When our offensive line is balling out and you got the Brandon Brooks healthy, the Jason Kelsey at center healthy, at one time it was Jason Peters healthy. You got Lane Johnson healthy. That offensive line does work. The run game works. The Carson Wentz got all day back there, and any receiver is going to look better. And same vice versa. You got the pass rush harassing a quarterback, making him second guess, making him look at his first read only and getting rid of the ball. These corners can jump rounds. They can play aggressive. They can play fierce because they're not scared of the long developing play because there's no such thing of it when the pass rush is there. That's why it's very important.
Yep.
Go ahead. I'm going to let you answer this one real quick. Oh, I just took it away.
What do you think about Drew Stanton as backup quarterback, trade Jeffrey to Rams or Browns for Tyler Higbee or David Njoku? To your first point, I wouldn't mind Drew Stanton as a backup option. I think we need to go out and look for a dude like that, a veteran, kind of older, can bring some of that veteran presence, especially some of that presence that we saw from Josh McCown. I think Josh McCown was a significant influence to Carson Wentz and the other dudes we have on his team. I mean, the dude was just so good for the locker room, so good that even I've thought about even maybe offering him a position because he has that wisdom. He's been around. So I wouldn't mind Drew Stanton as backup quarterback. Now, trading Jeffrey to the Rams or the Browns, maybe I wouldn't trade him to the Rams. I would trade him to the AFC. I think Jeffrey might still have something in the tank. And Njoku, I think we have enough at tight end to work with.
Yep. And again, Philly Fresh, I agree about the Maddox. Jenkins is grooming this kid. He agrees with you. And if you on this thing, real quick, let's take a thing. If you're watching, we got 29 people in here. If you are not sub to Philly Take with RB, go ahead and hit that button. The dude does super fire Philadelphia 76ers takes. But as you see right now, the man knows his football. Look at the shirt. Look at the shirt. Come on now. So go ahead and sum my man up. He's on the grind. And also Philly Fresh. We've done many live streams with Philly Fresh and Gate City Sports. If you're not subbed to him too, go check him out. And at the end of the day, if you're in here watching, you're not subbed to me, watch the video. If you like it, hit that subscribe button. But let's get back to this thing.
Sure.
What's going on, D-Block? My guy right there. I want Kenneth Murray or Grant Delpit or Xavier McKinney at pick 21. Interesting. And a wide receiver in the second. What are your thoughts? I'll let you take that first, RB.
I really like Kenneth Murray. I watched a good amount of those games this year, and I think he would be a steal in the draft, honestly. I think the dude, to me, has shown some potential to be maybe a day one kind of dude in the NFL. Wide receiver in the second. It's a good idea. I think, like Mike said, this draft is so deep in wide receivers. The Eagles, they have to hit on a wide receiver. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside didn't work. Now, I'm not sure what's going to happen with the whole situation. Alshon, I don't think he'll be here. Will Greg Ward come back? What about some of these other dudes that stepped up in their roles? D. Jackson will be back, but we have to have a formula laid out for the season. Like we have to have guys in place where, I'm really not trying to set my mindset on banking that guys are going to get hurt and, these no names are going to have to step up again. I don't know if Greg Ward should be here, but whether it's the first round, the second round, the third round, more than one round, we have to hit on a wide receiver, a big time receiver. I'm talking about a dude coming in and impacting the Eagles offense right away.
To just finish up on that Rivals BT, Kenneth Murray, he's a monster. I like Grant Delpit out of LSU. I actually think, even though I think Xavier McKinney started to garner more attention, I think Grant Delpit is starting to beat him in that. And I think he's a stud, and he might be there at 21. But the fact that we got guys that can possibly convert to safety, the fact that Malcolm is still there, I think the need for wide receiver to be that guy for Carson Wentz is a little bit more present. But again, the wide receivers are deep this draft. Claypool and Denzel Mims, who were clearly third rounds, definitely showed something at the combine and could easily be in the second round, early second now. So I think the window is closing a little bit, but as these guys move up on the draft board, you got to remember, everybody's not going to grab receivers. These other teams need offensive linemen. People need defensive linemen, defensive ends, cornerbacks, quarterbacks, all that stuff. So it's really going to be interesting. And let it be the Eagles to come out and shock us and get a defensive player with the first pick. And because everybody wants the pretty new toy. I understand that. But if Howie's dead set on a Denzel Mims, who might not be there at second pick 53, but maybe he doesn't move up for the first. Maybe he takes our defensive player with the first pick at 21 and packages one of our extra third or fourth round picks to move up in the second to second, from 53 to 39 or 40, and then get your Denzel Mims, who I think is a stud. Or Claypool, because you remember, Claypool has the whole works of a Megatron. There has not been anybody other than Megatron to be his size and height, his weight and height, and run a 4.4. What do you run, a 4.42? My goodness,
dude's a monster. I'm telling you, the dudes are here. This is the year we have to hit.
All right, let's get to some of these comments. They're starting to build up. So Rock the Artist, what's going on, man? Said pass rusher should be in the third round. We got two of them if we don't package a deal, so I can maybe see that. This is a guy that I want to see play too. Philly Wolf 90. I'm expecting to see Malik Jackson play a full season. He's going to ball out. Yeah, we didn't get to see the combination of Fletcher and Malik. What do you think that's going to be when they start, if they can get healthy and play together?
Man, I think it's going to be lethal. Malik Jackson, it was just like a stab in the heart, man. Week one, I'm excited to see these dudes mesh together and boom, going for the year. You know what I mean? So It's I know Fletch. Fletch is a baller, okay? The dude is every single year. I know this guy has gotten some criticism, but you got to keep in mind when all these dudes are getting hurt, they're throwing 2-3 bodies at Fletch. I'm telling you, Fletch is going to ball it. When he has these guys next to him, whether Brandon Graham is going to be the Brandon Graham we've seen or whether he's going to age, but you got Malik Jackson, you got Derek Barnett. Derek Barnett is so crucial to this team's success on that line.
Yeah, if you remember, Derek Barnett, right before he got hurt, was starting to do whatever he wanted. He was starting to get pressure. A lot of people don't believe he lived up to this first-round potential, and I agree. Early, he hasn't. I think we started to see signs this year that he started to live up to it, and there goes. Eagles luck, injury. I mean, the list goes on and on with injured people. But Tino, Build, ZYT, whoever you sub to, if it's either me or RB, good stuff. And if you only subscribe to one of us, check the other one out. It's all love in the Philly sports world. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Shout out to you, my guy.
Real quick, Extra Telly, love McCown, class act. Love McCown, class act dude. He really is, though. What he was able to do at his age for us, even though we came this close on a fourth down, he tried to. If that was 10 years ago, McCown, he runs for that first down automatically. Hey, actually, if the dude don't have what do he have? He tore his hamstring.
Hamstring like right off the bone.
If he don't have that, he probably runs for the first down automatically.
They literally tested the Eagles in every single way. I mean, who didn't get hurt? Who didn't get hurt? Like, it's hard to think of someone who did not get hurt throughout the season. What do we have? 2 starters that played the whole season and then get hurt? There are needs to be questions about that. The medical staff, I don't know what's going on. The last 2 years, no one's stayed healthy.
Definitely. Bird Game 114. Thoughts on if the Eagles sign Everson Griffin? Go ahead, RB. Take that one.
I wouldn't mind Everson Griffin. I mean, first off, you got to make sure the dude's mental is there because, you know, we heard all that stuff going on at his the end in Minnesota. But, I mean, I like what he brings to the table. He's got the size, a little bit quickness off the edge, you know. I think he would be – I don't think he would start on this line, but I think he would be able to contribute. What about you?
I think so, too. Everson Griffin got talent. It all depends on the money because, like I said, the Eagles are going into this free agency with a decent amount of cap money, more than what we had in a while. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of holes. You got the whole secondary issue might be gone. Are we going to sign these guys back? Are we going to pay Malcolm? No Nigel Bradham. So what are you going to start? You're going to start and Camus Gruger-Hill, which he's a kind of player, but he's a free agent too. So I mean, Nathan Gary, although he played better, TJ Edwards, Duke Riley, these guys you don't want as your core linebackers. So the Eagles don't value linebacker, but I think we got to do something.
What do you think, though, about linebacker, like the whole situation? Because to me, I feel like as if a lot of people don't view it as important as it needs to be looked at. Like these dudes, they make plays, you know, like they contribute in so many different ways. And you can answer anyone in the chat, like, what do we do at linebacker? What did we do? I know they couldn't keep Bradham because of the money situation. Like you said, everything comes down to money. But I don't want to go into this season starting with TJ Edwards and Nathan Gary as our linebackers.
Yeah.
I think we need to see something made here.
And that's why the linebacker is the Mike. I mean, think of all the great defenses. All right. When you think of the great defenses, they either have a really locked down corner, but a lot of these defense have a guy in the middle. Look at Bobby Wagner with Seattle, what he can do. Look what Luke Kuechly can do. Look what, even look what Van Der Esch was doing with the Cowboys before. Dudes, these guys are good. Run side to side, they control the middle. I think we need to. Now, there are some good linebackers that I can see us going to get maybe in the third-ish round. But like I said, Isaiah Simmons is a monster. And if we would trade up and get Isaiah Simmons, I mean, by all means, yes, we don't got the wide receiver, but that is a dude you could build your defense around. And it'd be nice to think about. D-Block 11X, super pumped for free agency. I hope it doesn't get delayed because of the virus. Had heard some news about possibly happening. Yeah, RB Philly Take was talking about that. There's a chance it could be delayed. Hopefully not. The draft is in April. I think it's in Las Vegas, right?
Yep. I don't think it's going to happen, man.
Again, they're trying to watch any event that has too many people packed in together, a couple people coughing on your shoulders and stuff. Like, they're trying to prevent that. And it's crazy. And, people, this could be someone's first time ever being able to go to a draft. They've been waiting for it all, blah, blah, blah. And now, like, this, it's crazy. It's sad. A lot of people's first times. And like I said, I hope it doesn't get delayed. April was already long enough to wait. And now we don't know. We just don't know what's going on. This is an interesting question. What do you think about what do you think about Kelsey want to retire?
I love Jason Kelsey. I feel like the dude has been consistent. He's been a focal point of the offensive line. Like, I love me some Jason Kelsey. He brings about the personality, the attitude. For me, I don't think he's done yet. I think he probably has another year in him. Obviously, we're going to have to start looking, sadly, because, we haven't even had to worry about the center position for years. Where it's like, yeah, we have Jason Kelsey. Mm-hmm. The dude really doesn't get hurt that much. And if he does, he still plays through it. But I would say after this season coming up, I would start looking at that position. But I'm fine with the offensive line we have now. Kind of groom Andre Dillard in there. Lane is locked down. Brandon Brooks, to me, the most underrated Philadelphia Eagle.
I agree. Brandon Brooks is best right guard in the game right now. Kara Poole, I think G Ward will be back. I agree. And no matter what we do in this wide receiver, we get a stud on the outside. We got another guy named Deshaun Jackson. G Ward can lock down that slot receiver position. Just think, he was playing the slot last year, but he was Carson Wentz's go-to guy. Think what a guy like G Ward can do with a guy like question mark on this side and D-Jack on this side. Just think about the offense. You got Carson Wentz in the shotgun. You got Miles Sanders to the left of him. You got Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz with D-Jacks, and let's say for giggles, Henry Ruggs. Like, come on. We playing Madden?
You just brought up two things that are actually interesting to me. One is, how do you think Dallas Goedert will be used? Because I think that's one of the biggest questions. Like, we need to see more Dallas Goedert. And to your point about Miles Sanders, I love the dude. What do you think happens with the running back situation? We can address them separately, but I think those are two good questions.
The running back situation, I like where we're at with Miles Sanders and Boston Scott. I think the emergence of Boston Scott, I think he can do a lot of things. He's not the short yardage guy, but people don't realize why do you think Darren Sproles was pretty successful on some short yardage? Not like he's going to bulldoze you, but the guy is so small that hiding behind the offensive line, you can't find him. You don't know where he's going. He can get into these little nooks and crannies. But I still think we need to get a, legit power back on this team. I would love to keep Jordan Howard. I just don't think it's going to be possible. Hey, who knows? Jordan Howard could have had a great time in Philly, and we'll take a team-friendly discount. But Jordan Howard, let's be real, Jordan Howard on another team could be the lead back. So if another team's going to offer him lead back money, why would he stay in Philly for a committee and less money? Would I want him to? Of course. I just don't see it. So I do think we have to look. I think we can touch runner back later in the draft, like a fifth-ish, maybe with our last fourth, and a guy who don't have to have the shiftiness and all that, who can get you. He don't have to be a playmaker. He just got to be a bulldozer, because the playmaker is going to be done by the one and only LaShawn McCoy 2.0, Miles Sanders. I'm trying to tell you guys, he's a monster.
Dude, Miles Sanders, what he did, and I think he should have got more Rookie of the Year votes than he actually did, but the impact he was able to have, once he was given the touches, once he was given the key to the car, Miles Sanders took complete advantage of it. Looking forward to what he does. And like you said about Boston Scott, he to me, he's the second Darren Sproles. Boston Scott brings so much to the offense. I'm excited to see, how he improves on last season.
Yeah, you said it right there. I was going to say, and I forgot to, but yeah, he's Darren Sproles 2.0. You know what I mean? I love it. We got a little LaShawn McCoy and Miles Sanders and Darren Sproles and Boston Scott. I'm about to just rip through some of these comments, and then we're going to get be even with it. And then we're going to try to transition to maybe some other talk. Rival beat Extra Telly, big fan of Claypool. Me too, man. Like I said, his stock definitely moved up. Rival guys, if you had a choice to pick, what am I doing? If you guys had a choice to pick KJ Hamler or Brandon Ayuk in a second, who would you guys pick between them two?
I would probably go Hamler.
Yeah, me too. Just because Hamler is a deep threat, and although I think Deshaun Jackson will ball, I need a safety. I need a security blanket in case he's hurt. We need another deep threat because we saw our offense without deep threat. Brandon Ayuk is that guy who, once you get the ball in his hand, he can make a play, but he's not KJ Hamler and stretching the field. So I'll probably go KJ Hamler. I do like Ayuk a lot. If you go back, I had a video on second round pick wide receivers. I talked about Jalen Reagor, KJ Hamler, Brandon Ayuk, and somebody else I forgot, but I like Ayuk, but I probably have to agree with RB and go KJ Hamler.
Yep.
The Eagles should move some money from the back end to the front for Jenkins. I agree 100% with you, Dennis Baker. Texas Eagle, what's up, guys? What's going on with you? What's going on?
Up Texas Eagle.
Twine Eagles 215. I agree. Have to hit this draft. Just have to pick the best at the position and not try to find gems like Whiteside instead of DK. Yes, my God. Don't try to do too much. Just stick to get the best. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what happened, but we can't just be mad at the Eagles. A lot of people passed on DK Metcalf, and it was because of the cone drill. He ran the cone drill slower than Tom Brady. So people, I'm dead serious. He ran the cone drill slower than Tom Brady. So because of he was slower than Tom Brady's cone drill, people thought that when this man had to stop to go left or go right, he could not stop. They said he was too big and too fast, that once he gets going, you can't stop. So they said he was only a vertical threat. Well, we see he's more than a vertical threat.
So first hand too.
Yeah, in the playoffs.
Yep.
How long till I was talking about basketball, so I know when to come back. Oh, we about to make the transfer right now, Nick Jer. Yeah, like I said, we got some of our Sixers fans in here who are not Eagle fans, and vice versa. Go ahead, you can answer this one, RB. Texas Eagle.
To me, pretty much, yeah. Josh Sweat had his opportunities. I'm not saying the dude's terrible, but where I want to see the direction of this team go, I don't see Josh Sweat in the future as much.
Yeah, I think Josh Sweat only has a role to come in and play, relieve minutes. So he comes in. He's never going to be a starter, I don't think, for the Philadelphia Eagles. But I think he's a good guy to come in rotation, get a couple plays, and get out. I think he had I'm not even going to say how many sacks he had this year because I think I'll be lying. I think I was surprised at what he did this season with the rotation we were giving him. No. What do y'all think about the coaching staff and many voices?
To me personally, I don't know what is too many. I just think we need the identity, like Doug Peterson. He's a Super Bowl coach. Now, to me, at times I find Doug getting lost within himself. I miss Frank Reich. I miss John DeFilippo. We need these guys that are there for Doug when he gets lost inside whatever he's doing. I think all of them together need to culminate to create something creative, because what we saw last year from Mike Groh, don't get me started on Mike Groh. We need some creativity. We had the dudes in place. We had the personnel. I don't know.
Yeah, when we first announced that we weren't going to get an offensive coordinator, I was like, what? What are you talking about, bro? On some Russell Westbrook thing. But as I got to think about it, I said, listen, I do trust Doug. I think his play calling at times could be creative. I'm going to say that last year we saw a lot of predictiveness, and I'm going to blame that on the players we had on the field, the talent he had to work with all the injuries, and Mike Groh not being able to groom the guys throughout the week. I was keen on getting a guy like Jim Caldwell for the simple fact that the dude's been a head coach. He's been an offensive coordinator. He's coached Matthew Stafford. He coached Peyton Manning. The dude knows what he's doing. And with his age, he was the offensive coordinator for the Miami Dolphins and had to step away from football because of health issues. But he did say at the end of the season he wants to coach. I said, with Doug Peterson not wanting to give up play calling at all, I'm thinking this guy could come in, help this team with his knowledge, and be okay with staying behind Doug and letting Doug do all the play calling because he has health problems. He could be a real guy that Doug listens to in crucial situations. Remember, Doug Peterson was the play caller when Frank Wright was here. But what I do think Frank Wright did was help throughout the week immensely. I think he and Doug game plan together. I think Doug respected his take, unlike Mike Rowe. And so with all that being said, when in crucial situations, if he talked to Frank Wright and Frank Wright offered an idea, I think Doug listened to him, unlike Mike Rowe. And so I'm not saying Marty Warnaway is a great coach because we had him. Now, Mike Vick did have his best passing year under him, but that team was pretty stacked with D-Jack, Macklin, and, we lost to Green Bay in the playoffs. Heartbreaking.
I was at that game.
Wow.
Dude, that was crazy. That was my first Eagles game. Dude, I was so upset. I remember I can't unthink of that play where Mike Vick tries to throw it to Riley Cooper in the end zone.
Tramon Williams.
And it comes crashing down. Don't get me started on Riley Cooper.
Oh, yeah. He
It's a different story for a different day. What do you think happens with Deuce, though, going forward?
I think Deuce is eventually going to get upset that we keep passing him up for any promotions, and he's going to try to find another job. I think it's not 100% yet, but he's definitely has that in his mind, I think.
Yep.
But they do have to dip in the draft for a linebacker. We all agree 100%. The Eagles don't value linebackers, but we got to get back to valuing linebackers. It's just that important in the NFL. Philly Wolf 90, I think we draft a center in a second. I think a guy named Matt Hennessy, I like him as a center. I think he can go to one of our third-round picks. So I would presume the Eagles will look at center, a guy like Matt Hennessy in the third-ish. It's never a sexy pick to get a center, but the crucial work that we ask a center to do. Jason Kelce has been crucial for us. I do believe Jason Kelce got one more year, but we do got a plan for the future when it comes to Jason Kelce. Twan Eagles 215. We need a bruiser running back fall forward guy. I agree 100% with you.
Yep.
And here comes the guy. D Block 11, AJ Dillard from Boston College, late round, beast of a runner back, man. I agree. He's the guy we can use as our fall forward kind of guy, and we can take him in the late rounds because he's come from Boston College.
Yep.
So with that being said, let's transfer back to the NBA. Let's get back to the NBA for a little bit. We got an hour. We probably go to hour 30. We'll do something like that. Let's talk about the NBA for a little bit. If just let's say the Sixers season didn't end after the game against the Pistons, the season never ended. There's no such thing as the coronavirus. The season don't end. How do you feel about this team without Ben, and then with Ben, if Ben would have been able to come back for the playoffs?
So my immediate reaction, like I said, I'll give the man credit when he deserves it. Brett Brown coached a great game yesterday. The Sixers were moving around. The Sixers had an identity. Al Horford, of course it happens. The game where Embiid and Al Horford finally play well together. Brett Brown actually coaches a game. The season's over. But I think this team would not be able to survive in the playoffs without Ben Simmons. Like, what I just see when I'm watching a game, even though we play well, we are so freaking slow. Coming up the court, I mean, Joel Embiid chugging down the court, Al Horford chugging down the court. I liked how Al Horford was, he was backdoor cutting yesterday. He was moving around. The guys were more aggressive. I've said Joel Embiid, no one can stop him one-on-one for the most part in the league. But then again, at the guard play, like Shake Milton didn't have the best of games yesterday. But since he's went on that hot tear, why is he not shooting more? Shake Milton, I think he's a dude that could potentially become our fifth starter. So I need to see Shake take more shots. And overall, we need that dude that will push the tempo, and that's Ben Simmons. It's not Shake Milton. It's not Josh Richardson. It's definitely not Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris just sits and plays iso ball. He doesn't pass when he needs to. But these guys are being paid to be the dudes. So overall, I don't think this team honestly has any chance without Ben Simmons. Now that we have more time, he might come back and be healthy. Before, we were saying what? He would come back with 5 games in a season. That's not enough time for me to get his feet under himself and, make sure he can do everything. But now it's a different question because when do we come back? And we need Ben Simmons, both sides of the ball. He's the rock of this team, I'm telling you.
Yeah. I mean, just the hustle play he does. I mean, the back and forth on both sides of the ball, offense, defense, rebound, assist, score. He doesn't need the ball he doesn't need to score fancy. He doesn't need to be the guy. He just does everything you can ask for of an NBA player. He does, he cleans up a lot of people's mistakes. And I'm telling you, Matisse Thybulle's defense is still there. But you can see Matisse is not the same without Ben. They're just a nasty duo when they're both on the court wreaking havoc. I mean, you saw Matisse last game, a couple easy pickpockets lead to transition baskets. But Matisse and we still haven't seen this team play like 10 straight games because Josh Richardson's been really injured this year. But if they just imagine Matisse, Ben, and Josh Richardson, when they're in the zone, on the wings, like that is a dirty duo when it comes to on the wing defense. It really is.
Yep. And I agree. Like this team hasn't been consistent and they haven't been healthy together. And that's why we have questions as well. One question that comes to me is, in the playoffs, one thing that I've always religiously stated is you need a knockdown shooter. You need a dude night in, night out in the playoffs, whether it's in a tough atmosphere on the road. Obviously, this team has not played well on the road. Who's going to be that knockdown shooter? Last year, even though he was a liability on defense, JJ Redick, I love JJ Redick because anytime he needed a shot, he was knocked down. Are you confident that Furkan Korkmaz is going to come in here and knock down 20 a night in the playoffs? I don't think Thibault will have his jump shot back. Ben Simmons can't shoot. Don't put Al Horford out on the perimeter and have him shooting 10 threes in the playoffs. This team will get embarrassed. And Tobias is just too inconsistent. So that's my issue. We can big man people, but, with the way we're not playing defense well enough. So at that point, we don't have shooters. Other teams do. We don't.
I agree with you. This team was supposed to be built on the defensive side of the ball. The defense, is suspect too. I think when Joel Embiid is, like I said, we were missing the physicality. And we saw last night. I mean, we got to the charity stripe 32 times. We out-rebounded the Pistons. It's not going to be hard to do that. But we had 50 rebounds to their 32. We were just more physical. Again, the Pistons are not a team to be proud of beating. But at the end of the day, it was a game that, you should beat them by a lot, and we did beat them by a lot. So Nick Germ says second round exit. So again, Nick Germ, elaborate on in the second round exit. Who do we lose to? Who do we play in the second round, you think, and lose this game? Here's my take. Again, I watch the Sixers with all you guys, and there's games that I come out of thinking the same thing, like, wow. This is not what we signed up for this year. This is not the defensive team we thought. Al Horford is not the guy who should be making that much money, although he stepped up in the last 2 games. I mean, your video, I was actually surprised when I watched your video how you congratulated Al Horford and you gave Brett Brown his props. I know, and you know why I think it is? I think that's Broads getting to you a little bit, to be honest.
No. Definitely not. I mean, we always try to keep it real. We speak our truth. And I know people try to make me and DJ Eastwood out to be some Brett haters. We're really not. I'm just speaking it how I see it. I know if this team came into the year with the expectation of being an 8 seed, then so be it. But I've heard too many, top 3 seed in the East going to the finals, and there's been no improvement. We've regressed. And I feel like that's happened in Philly the last couple of years, like with the Eagles, with the Sixers, and it's just tiring. This team has talent on it. I've been saying it since the beginning of the year. but Brett Brown is not the dude. We have all acknowledged that now. We've come to a realization. But shout out to Bros. Bros keeps his opinion consistent. I respect that.
I agree 100%. Hey, if you want, real quick, jump out and jump back in. I think your video is getting a little messed up.
All right, got you.
Just going way back for him, and then we're gonna hit Ronald's comment because I want to talk, and I want to also talk about what you said on my post because I thought it was funny and I agree with it a little bit. Just going way back for RB. Carapul, real quick, let's jump to this way. Carapul, no problem. Mike won't have much input here, but I might randomly say some funny stuff. Hey, I ain't mad at that. And my man is back in the building, and it's looking pretty good.
Back like we never left, man.
Yeah. So Ronald said, will it help Ben with being first team all defensive or even winning defensive player of the year? Know that he will be back. Go ahead, take that one.
Will it help Ben with being if you're saying in terms of like, will that do anything for him? I mean, I don't think we're really worried about that at this time. I mean, I think Ben Simmons has stepped up defensively. I think looking at the future, like Ben Simmons has improved significantly. I mean, I've been saying it. He's improved every part of his game. Once the jump shot comes, hopefully, I'm really hoping because I think that's what another coach will do. I don't think Brett holds the guys accountable enough. You have to shoot the damn ball. You're Ben Simmons. You're a jump shot away from being an MVP caliber type of player in this league. Shoot the ball. Even if you're not making it. We've been saying it. Shoot the ball. Shoot it. And the defense is there now. The defense is there. Every single thing is there. Shoot the ball, Ben. Please.
Yeah, and what I think he was saying is I think we were talking about how bad the defense it was. And so he said it will help with Ben being the team's all defense or even winning defensive player of the year. So I think because I saw the now then when I clicked there here. So he was saying our defense will help when Ben comes back. And I agree 100% with that. Now, I do want to say this. This man, I put a community post for everybody about, come join us live, talk about the Sixers and the Eagles. So we hit the Sixers, then we jump to the Eagles, and now we back with the Sixers because that's the biggest shock about the whole NBA being suspended. And we're still trying to live in the now with the Sixers. Wish we could be watching the Sixers game coming up, but we won't be. But he said, the way this season's going, the way this year went with the whole Kobe Bryant thing, the whole up and down Sixers, and now this thing, wouldn't it be something if we waited for a decent amount of time, the NBA comes back, and then the Sixers win it all? I'm not agreeing with him that we're automatically going to win it all, but I commented and said back that I was going to say something like that. I mean, wouldn't it be Philly's way to win like their first championship to just have like the disaster of Kobe, even though the Lakers, we're going to try to put out for Kobe, but just the whole, and then somebody will say along the lines that this championship don't count because you got help with the coronavirus and blah, 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 all that good stuff.
I agree. That would be, seeing how the Eagles won a Super Bowl, that would be a Philly way to do things. But that actually is one of the questions I wanted to, bring up to everyone, the chat, you, like, how do we look at this season? I mean, what are the Bucks, like 52 and like 9 and 10, whatever? So like, say we take an extended period of time break, say 2-3 months, and we come back. And whoever wins the championship, like, is this season forever tainted now? Is there an asterisk next to whoever wins this season? When we look back, is it, oh, yeah, they won, but, there was a suspension this season. There was a coronavirus. Do we look at it that way?
I kind of think it depends on who wins. I mean, there's certain teams that just get a bad rap. I think the Sixers are one of them, just being Philly. And I also think they're going to use it that we kind of cheated because we got the extra time to get Ben Simmons back. A team like the Bucks, who's been healthy and been balling all year, the Lakers, the Clippers, there's no real weight. I think waiting hurts them more than helps them. You know what I mean? So That's the only thing I can see, but I agree with you. But Nick Jur said, I'm changing my mind to Eastern Conference Finals against the Bucks in 6 games. So he's saying that we're not second round exit. We get to the Eastern Conference Finals and lose to the Bucks in 6 games. Your take on that?
You want me to go first?
Go ahead.
I mean, all respect to you, I completely disagree. I don't even know if we're going to make the second round at this point. It's nothing against the Sixers. It's just looking at what I'm seeing. Now, again, this is a hard to answer because when are we going to see basketball? If we're waiting months down the road and Ben Simmons comes back, you might be right. But say this goes on for a month, we come back, we're most likely going to play Toronto, Boston, or Miami in the first round. And I made a video about this. They all present hard challenges. And it's whether we have more talent than Miami, whether those guys are too young. I do not trust Brett Brown in the crucial moments. We don't have enough shooting. And this team can't play defense. And we can't win on the road. That's the biggest thing. Are we going to win a game on the road in the playoffs? Let me know in the chat if you think so. And if yes, why?
Yeah, let him know. And I think Nick Jur was talking about if we got Ben Simmons back. I don't think he's talking about this without a Ben Simmons. I think everybody knows that Ben Simmons is the motor of this team. Joel Embiid might be the go-to bucket maker, but Ben Simmons is the glue that holds things together.
Right, but even if we get Ben Simmons back, did you see not the documentary, but the interview with Jimmy Butler and JJ Redick? I made a video on this too.
Yeah.
He's completely switched up the offensive formula in the Raptors series. I was pissed off at Ben, but now I can't even be as mad at him. He took all his touches away. What is Ben Simmons supposed to do if he cannot shoot the ball? Is he just going to sit out on the corner and just do nothing? Just maybe catch a couple oops, get some rebounds? I don't know.
I agree 100%. But at the end of the day, it comes down to now, like you said, I think Brett Brown might have took the ball out of Ben Simmons' hands and gave it to Jimmy for the simple fact that Jimmy was closing games and doing a lot of things in these playoffs, even prior to the Raptor series. So maybe him not being there, he won't let it happen again. But let's take this one. I Shine 101. Let's all be honest. Jimmy Butler said it all the other day on JG's Reddit podcast. Oh, he said it before you said it. Brett is cotton candy, and the Sixers need a jawbreaker-style coach.
Yep. Absolutely agree.
What's going on, Cowboys X Factor? What's going on? But now that we caught up to the comments and we don't got these Philly Sixers dudes in here like that, let's talk about let's keep talking Sixers. But so let me ask you this. If you could think of a guy to come in and replace him right now, I know it's hard because you don't know who's all available. You don't know other coaches that will be available possibly at the end of the season, whenever the season does end. But if you could just grab a guy right now, who would you think possibly replacing Brett Brown with?
Man, like you said, we don't know. I think there's going to be a lot of coaches that are let go. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities. My first intention, I would not look to college right away. I would look to someone who has experience, has their resume laid out, and that has had solidified experience as an NBA head coach. Just like that dude said on the last comment, we need some dude that is going to come in here and not take any crap. I wouldn't mind looking at Kenny Atkinson at the end of the season. I wouldn't mind looking at Mark Jackson. People forget what Mark Jackson did with the Warriors. Now, in a dream scenario, and I know this would never happen, and let me know what y'all think about this. I would offer the key to the city to get Greg Popovich over here to Philadelphia. Imagine Greg Popovich with this team. Guys would be doing everything right. And it would be a Philly thing, having Greg Popovich come out here with one-word answers. It would be perfect.
Oh yeah, his post games are already Philly ready. I mean, his post games are crazy. Oh, look at this. We got a thing. David Lopez next year, man. Sam Cassell.
I wouldn't mind looking at Sam Cassell. I mean, like I said, we're probably going to have to look at that stage. We're going to have to go to the college game. There's no doubt about it. One dude I would love to see from college that would never come is Jay Wright from Villanova. Jay Wright consistently puts out a good product in Villanova. There's other dudes in college that you have to look at, but I mean, if they've come from the NBA, yeah. I don't want to see some guy that's new, that's never had an NBA job, you know? I don't want to see a first-time kind of head coach in the NBA. We need to see someone that is ready to step in, has the formula to win. Not is trying to figure it out. Someone that has it and is ready to go and is ready to, you know, get these guys in position and is going to hold Ben Simmons accountable, is going to make him start shooting 300 shots at practice a day. Some dude that's not going to let Joel Embiid sit there and choose what nights or what opponents he wants to come out and be tough against. You know what I mean? Like, someone has to lay down a law.
Yeah.
Someone has to do it.
Accountability, like you said, we thought accountability was a problem prior to the podcast, but the podcast, again, like a guy like Broad would say, and like you said yourself, you can't take Jimmy Bucket's words and just automatically run with them, because it's one side to a story. There's always three sides to the story. This person is this person, and then the truth. You know what I'm saying? Yep. But when we already thought that Brett Brown was not holding players accountable, that we didn't know who was in charge, that we didn't know this, that, and the third. And so our thoughts on what we think is going on, we said, and then someone just says kind of exactly what we see from the outside, it starts to make more sense. And so I can't just say that Jimmy Butler is 100% telling the truth, but these are things that we noticed from the outside. And then that makes the truth sound more truthful when you can confirm it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, I absolutely agree. And we miss Jimmy. We miss that dude. We don't have that dude. If I could take everything that's in Jimmy Butler's body and put it into a head coach, that is the kind of head coach I want. You heard him talk about Eric Spoelstra, right? He comes out and, you know, these guys are young in Miami and he's calling them out for the littlest of things, but he's getting them in that mindset. He's letting them know, no matter where you came from, no matter who you are going to bust your ass every single night. And there's nothing else to it. Like, we have the talent here. You have to elevate it. I think that's one of the biggest things where, you know, the Brett Brown fans and the Brett Brown haters, or whatever you want to call it, collide. We're not saying that Brett Brown is the most incompetent coach, or at least I'm not saying that. But when you have talent, you need a guy that's not just going to let them play it out. You need a guy that is going to elevate that talent. And I've not seen that.
Yeah. And just like you said, and that's where Broad sticks with, you know, he believes that Brett Brown needs to go. I believe Brett Brown needs to go. A lot of people believe Brett Brown needs to go, but I do believe he's not the only thing that's wrong. I think he needs to do his job better in adjustments and holding people accountable and stuff along them lines. But these players still need to do it. The only thing I can say about the players is maybe they already gave up, so these guys can't get up. I mean, it's their job to get up. But again, these guys know it's a players' league. It is a players' league in the NBA. If they show signs of not listening or not doing this, it's going to fall on the head coach that he can't run the ship. And so vice versa. It's like the players trying to get the coach out. So we've seen the best of Brett Brown, which is not much, and we've seen the worst. But again, he is an average coach. But when you have the talent on your team, when we have talent on the team, and even though we were injured this year, we need a guy who can take us to the next level. We've been stuck with Brett Brown. Second round exit. Just say we get a second round exit this year. 3 second round exits in a row. Doesn't matter if the coach is just average or even good. The fact is we're stuck. We can't get past that. We hit our plateau. We're plateaued. We don't want to be plateaued. These guys, you got Ben Simmons at 23. Joel Embiid is young, but he's not going to be able to last like a guy like Ben Simmons. At 7 foot, his weight, his knees, he only got but 3-4 more years at the max to play, not to play in general, but to play top quality ball. At 29, this man's going to look a little suspect because of his weight and the way he is. You know what I'm saying? So when the voice gets stale, it's kind of over. The Voice. I mean, even if the Voice is average, I mean, if you look at all 30 NBA teams, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Brett Brown is probably in the middle, but the middle of the pack, maybe a little less than the middle, be honest. But it's not good enough, and we're plateau. And instead of just coming into the season and being satisfied with second round exit, we got to get past that.
Yep. And to your point, like, I still don't know what the identity of the Sixers is. I don't. All we do is question about, what we're going to see on a night in, night out basis. I don't know. Some nights Joel might go for 35. Some nights Joel might not even look like he wants to play basketball. And Ben Simmons might show up. But it's like, we need something that will be consistent. I'm not saying every dude has to go off for 20 a night. But what I'm saying is, like, guys need to at least be engaged. I need to see some more movement, whether they're on ball or off ball, or even on defense. Like, we've been saying, where's the consistency at? We can't be losing these games to the Cavs and the Knicks and the Hawks and the Warriors. We can't do that and then go out and dominate the Bucks. There's just no consistency.
I agree 100%. And so Ronald said, what was Mark Jackson's coaching style?
Like, from what I remember, Mark Jackson was it's hard to say because it was specific to that team. I feel like he was building up Steph Curry and Clay. Like, people forget about Mark Jackson because of the championships and because of Steve Kerr, but Mark Jackson pretty much taught Steph Curry how to become a baller. If we remember Steph Curry's beginning of his career, he wasn't really, solidified. He had the ankle injury and everything. But what I saw, I know Steve Kerr took over the ship and it was time for Mark Jackson to go. But Mark Jackson was a dude. He started with pounding the ball, but then he would get the shooters over. He taught Steph how to play. And, obviously Steph developed himself and Clay. But I saw a lot of movement within Mark Jackson's offense. I saw a lot of things that were set in pavement in the way for what Steve Kerr came in and he didn't really have to do much because they had the talent there. And when Kevin Durant came, it was a different story. They were just too good, too much talent.
Yeah, bro, I agree 100%. Like I said, and Mark Jackson was there in the whole development of the guys like Steph and Clay and all them guys. But the real mastermind behind that whole building of the Golden State Warriors was the one and only logo, Jerry West, bro. He does magic. Now, look, he did his thing in Golden State and then he moved on. And now he's with the Clippers and he started building that organization the right way too. Look what the Clippers were able to do to a healthy Golden State Warriors team last year. I mean, they took them to game 6 with a healthy KD. See, now again, the Raptors beat the Golden State Warriors. Yes, they did. But there was no Clay, there was no KD, and they beat them. The Clippers took them to game 6 when the Warriors were at their best. And that was all due to Jerry West, man, drafting. I like Montrezl. Trez is a baller. You know what I mean? I love Trez.
They have depth on that team. Their second 5 can come in and play just like a starting 5. Lou Will, dominant.
Real quick, Ronald, I met Jason Kidd at work, and his head is huge. I can't get past that. I'm dead.
Jason Kidd's an interesting one. I don't know if he's going to end up taking over there in LA.
Yeah, go ahead. You can start with this one, Nick Jura. How long have y'all been Sixers fans?
Man, I've been a Sixers fan since I came out the womb, and it's just straight like I've known Sixers basketball since I came into this world. I've been watching games forever. How about you?
Pretty much, man. I played basketball in high school. I never really played football, but I took liking to I watch baseball too when I follow the Phillies. I really don't mess with the Flyers, but if anybody asks me, I'm Philadelphia everything. But my 2 sports that I love to watch and talk about all the time is basketball and football. And I've been an Eagles and Sixers fan since the day I started watching any type of sports. It's just what it is. Now, there wasn't many good times in Sixers Nation. We had AI, you know what I mean? We had some other stuff, but a lot of downtime. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I'm going to rock with Philly all day.
Yes, sir.
What about you, Nick Jer? Put in the comment section, how long have you been a Philly fan? Or, you like the Sixers. So may I ask, who is your football team, and or do you even watch football? Because I know you said let me know when you guys get to the basketball talk. Cash Face, what is going on, bro? Haven't heard from you in a minute. How you been, bro? How you feel about this no sports, bro? David Lopez, I watched the Sixers since Barkley. Yeah, man. I mean, I was alive, of course, but I was younger, and of course, like I have pictures when I'm like 7, 8 year old with a Sixers shirt. But did I really notice Sixers? Like, right? Actually, 9 years old is when I really started to get into actually watching it. But I'm also saying like maybe 6 or 7, I had pictures of myself too, like with that stuff. But yeah, man, basketball, football. It's been my thing. I'm 28, so you know what I'm saying. Born 91, so I was 8 or 9 years old around 98, 99. So,
Yep. Been at it forever. It's hard to. You have to know what Philly goes through, to be a Philly fan. That's kind of how I feel about it. I mean, we have fans all over the world, greatest fan base in the world, but you have to know the struggle to go through the success. That's how I feel about it.
yeah, and that's why, like, I know I got friends who, like, they might be a Tennessee Titan fan when it comes to football, and a Los Angeles Lakers fan when it comes to basketball, and then a New York Yankees fan, or just all three different cities. And I hear it, but like at the end of the day, I just had one, and it is what it is,
special, man. I was never the type to hop on a bandwagon about anything. It just doesn't make it special.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't say that. I mean, if you were a Sixers fan, but then in football, like anybody, but not about the Cowboys, really. But if you were a Sixers fan and then you like the the Falcons, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, maybe when you were younger, you just you turn on the TV and the Sixers caught your eye and you became a fan and you stayed loyal. The important thing is if you've been a fan for a long time. I really don't. I mean, it doesn't matter where you're born. You can be born in Dallas and like the Eagles. I still respect you. Actually, I'm happy for you. But at the end of the day, it comes down to whenever you became a fan, have you just stayed a fan? You got a lot of people who like New England Patriot fans. A lot of these guys are probably like, yeah, I've been, they're jump on the bandwagon. So as long as you've been repping your team, since you've been repping your team, hey, it's cool with me. You know what I mean? And actually, I didn't read a comment to a dude. He's a recent subscriber. His name is the Boys something, something, something. I forgot. And it was a long time ago. He actually hit us up when we were talking Eagle stuff. But he is a Sixers fan and a Cowboys fan. So when he subbed me up, I asked him about his name, and he was like, yeah, man, I'm a Sixers fan. And then I was like, you're a Cowboys fan too, though, right? And he was like, yeah. I was like, man, well, I mean, you sub to the channel. You could watch the Sixers stuff, but we're going to have a lot of disagreements when it comes to football season. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, huh?
That's a hard combo, man.
It is.
I don't know about that one. That's a hard combo.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, his grind for the Sixers is real. So we keep it, you know what I mean? Like I said, I can't agree with you when it comes to football, but we going to keep it the same when it comes to basketball. Yeah. So Crash Frey, he said crazy. I feel you 100%. And here we go. We got a Lakers fan over here. So, hey, at the end of the day, if the Sixers weren't able to do it, come on now. We all have to really root for the Lakers. If they're not, they're just on some sure Kobe Bryant something. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, if the Sixers weren't there, which would have been hard with Brent Brown.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Kobe, if you guys go back on my page and watch, I did like a little video for Kobe Bryant, like 5 minutes. I actually was in the process of doing my Sixers game recap against, I forgot who they were playing, but we were playing the Lakers. We played the Lakers. So
yeah,
we played the Lakers. I'm doing my recap, and then I have my setup up. I got my thing recording, and in the middle of my recording, I look on my phone and I'm like, is this serious? And it was just like blah. So I just changed that, ripped up my notes, and I went in on them notes and just gave it to Kobe, just straight up, man, because that was whew.
I remember that night, man. That was terrible. The night before, obviously LeBron broke past Kobe on the scoring list, and it was in Philadelphia. I know we heard how Kobe talked to them or at least talk to LeBron the night before. And I remember the next day I was on the way to a basketball court, and I get a call, and Kobe's dead. And it's like, damn.
Yeah.
It's like, talk about not believing something. Damn.
Yeah, man, I didn't believe it. I had to. I mean, once I saw it I got the little tweet. Twitter went off, and then I said, "Nah, somebody's playing a disgusting joke." So, and then my phone started just buzzing with like my boys, like boom, 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 and I just felt like texting them all back, like, "Stop lying! Why y'all all spreading this lie?" And then it sunk in, and like I said, I had to give it, and it wasn't nothing. I didn't even set my phone up. I didn't do no intro, no nothing. I just jumped on there and said my piece to Kobe. And it wasn't even like I was one of them just holding my phone, walking or like sitting down video, just straight, no glory, no nothing. Just my goodness, it was rough.
Man, Kobe, the worst thing to me is that Kobe he had another life set out for him, Like everything he was doing, the dude is so smart. Had so much more to do before he left the planet.
His daughter too.
That's what hurts, man. You can look at the championships and all that, whether he would have won more if him and Shaq stayed together, all that. But in the end, Kobe's a true champion. And obviously the passing of his daughter as well, just terrible. It makes you question, like, why?
I agree 100%. But real quick, David Lopez, I don't follow other sports as much anymore, but sometimes the Eagles. Well, keep that thing right there. You perfect. You don't really watch the Eagles, but you a dude who follows the Sixers. And if you had to say, yeah, if I had to pick an NFL team, we going to rock with Philly everything. I respect that 100%.
Yep.
Alshon 101, Moses Malone was the assistant who helped their defense a lot better. Oh, I think I kind of forgot what that response was too, because we kind of went a little bit long on Kobe and whatnot. Let me know. Re-say that, Alshon. David Lopez. Larry Brown was the last Sixer coach that made sense. How you feel about that, RB?
I mean, I gotta agree with him. I liked Larry Brown. I also like Doug Collins. I remember that series with, I think it was Miami, where we stole a game and we beat the Bulls when D Rose was hurt. But I liked Larry Brown. He was a hard ass, It was obviously all the disagreements with AI, but I liked Larry. We need a guy kind of with some of those same qualities,
Yeah, you get a guy like Larry Brown now, and no matter how much Ben does not want to shoot, I think he could be a guy who can bring it out of him 100%. You need that toughness, and especially in Philly. You know what I mean?
This is the city that represents that.
Mm-hmm.
If you know Philly, you know.
100.
We need that type of dude who will hold the people accountable.
Catchphrase. That's a dope new twist you added to your channel as far as highlighting the comment. Oh, yeah, definitely. And we try to get to all the comments, but when you're by yourself on here talking, there's only so much you can talk to yourself. So but when you're on here with other people, which is cool too, because I love the back and forth, but we try to get to the comments. But yeah, this is cool. Last time you were in here, I didn't have this, and it's good stuff with this thing. But yeah, so like I said, our Philly Take RB is right now, if you look at his channels, it's nothing but Sixer stuff. But the dude's been letting me know he's about to get his Eagle stuff in too. I mean, it is what it is, and so you can.
They don't know it yet.
Yeah.
I might even get more crazy about the Eagles than the Sixers. Sundays come, man. It is a different story, especially in Philadelphia. Man, everyone's watching the Eagles.
Yeah.
Sometimes people can't watch every Sixers game. Everybody's watching the Eagles.
Yeah. It gets hard, 82 game season, I mean, sometimes you get a little break, like how we had it. We played Sunday and then we waited to Wednesday. But sometimes between Monday and Friday, and that's what Monday, Tuesday, you get 4 games. You can have 2 back-to-backs, a break, and 2 more. Like the games be overwhelming and stuff like that. But football, it's once a week right there at your disposal. And especially if you're in a location like us, it's never not going to be on, even if you have basic cable.
And every game means so much.
Yeah. The Sixers in early January lose to the Hawks. All right, bad game. Let's get another one. The Eagles week 3 lose to the Jets. It's nothing. They can't do that. You can't do that.
Yep. Everything's highlighted, man. I love football. Love watching football.
Nick Jur, Cavs fan here.
Interesting.
Cavs? What do you mean?
He's a Cavs fan. We asked him what team he's a fan of.
Yeah, but I thought he's a Sixers fan. I thought. I asked him what his football team was.
Who's your team, Nick? You a Sixers fan? And if not, I mean, well, good luck to you, man. The Cavs. That's an interesting situation, but
hey, they got a long journey, but hey, the Sixers fans felt that
man, they can hire Brett Brown. Trust the process.
Trust the process. So yeah,
I'm telling you, the Cavs. My bold prediction for the next 4 years is that LeBron will have the decision part 3. He will return and play with his son.
In Cleveland?
In Cleveland. Akron, Ohio, baby. I'm telling you.
Yo,
that's my prediction.
I'm gonna hold you to that. That's crazy. But if that happens, that's on some. That's woo. But yeah, Nick. All right, we about to see. So let's see a couple, and we'll get to him. Superhero 18. That's true. 16 game every week matters. Agree 100%. I shine. I'm getting alerts on my phone. So many sports getting canceled. Golf. No, not golf. I'm just kidding.
I think they said they're gonna play golf with no fans. I mean, what's the difference? Golf is already played with no fans. I mean, if you putt the ball, like that's all I see in golf. So there's no difference. Come on.
Mark Jackson, assistant. Oh yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
11 miles. Okay, here it is. You never asked about my football team was. Oh, that's what I thought I was. So wait, you're a Cavaliers fan? There's nothing wrong with it. That's cool. But the thing was, we got on here. We talked about Sixers first. Then we talked Eagles football. And when you said when we get back to basketball, I'm like, all right, he really want to talk that Sixers talk because you're the one who said it.
Amen.
And so I'm like, but hey, it's cool, yo. They got some pieces. They got some pieces.
Shout out to Nick, man. You a Cleveland Cavaliers fan? I respect you for coming out and saying that, especially in this time.
And I don't watch football. That's cool. That's cool.
Right.
Oh, here we go. What's up,
my guy?
Yeah. Yeah, we mentioned you a little bit when we talked about RB having a great take on Brett Brown, actually giving him props and Al Horford props. I said I think that's not Brett Brown. That's Broads getting to you a little bit. But nah, he gave him his props and he said no, he agrees the players need to step up too. But you know how we all feel about Brett Brown as a fan base, and you know. It is what it is. But we're on the tail end of this. We're at an hour and 47 minutes. We started out with the Sixers. We transferred to the Eagles, talked some draft talk, talked some free agency talk. And then we ended with of course, NBA season being suspended and the Sixers talk. But yeah, man, sports talks with Broads. You know, when it comes to Sixers talk, that dude's the GOAT. He definitely is.
Man, that dude is the GOAT. He's been doing it for some time now. Broads is the dude. Bros is the dude. Hey, man, everyone in the chat, and we asked this last time. I want to know, especially you, bros, who is winning the finals? It's like whenever they come back, which teams are going to the finals? Who is winning the finals?
Hey, and like even Sports Talk with Bro says again, yes, it's time for a new voice. And see, his take on it is the take that people really should listen to more. And I agree. Brett Brown is not the worst coach ever. Is he getting the job done? No, he's not getting the job done, but he's not the worst coach ever. But at the end of the day, when the voice gets stale, it's time to move on. It's a players' league, and the players got to play. But when the players don't play the right way for the coach, it's best that everybody goes their separate ways.
Oh, my God. Bros is a funny dude.
Yeah, let's see. Orlando Magic, Fultz with a dunk over LeBron in Game 7, 30 seconds to go.
That happens, I'll delete my YouTube channel. It's over.
It's over, right?
I'll become a Magic fan. I'm about to buy me a Fultz jersey. Watch the dude end up being an MVP one day. It's a Philly thing. Dudes leave Philadelphia, they become superstars.
And then we got Nick Jers saying the Lakers are. You don't think your Cavs are gonna make it? I'm just kidding
Hey,
with you.
hey, bro, I was just mentioning this too. How about the Cavs going out and getting Brett Brown? Trust the process, part 2 in Cleveland coming up.
Yep, run it all the way.
4 years down the road, LeBron James will go back. LeBron James Jr. will go. Cavs are a formidable roster, right? The players got to play.
All right, I'm not gonna get into that. But Nick, I started watching when the Cavs beat the Sixers, and I saw RB's channel and liked his unbiased, how unbiased he is. All right, that's cool.
Sir, respect to you, my guy. Keeping it real. Speaking the truth.
That's cool. And like I said, listen, the Cavs, they just acquired Andre Drummond. I don't know what the whole Kevin Love situation is. Is he going to stay longer or whatnot? But again, you know, what's the point guard's name again? Dang, slipped my mind. Sextons. Yeah. I mean, you guys got some stuff there, but I do think, of course, this is a league that you need stars. When you just have a bunch of role players, you need that guy. Like, honestly, think about this. And it's not probably going to happen. But if a Greek freak went to the Cavs, Giannis, the Greek freak, went to the Cavs. If you put the Greek freak with a guy like Drummond, Love, and Sexton, now this team is legit. Just like that, because Sexton is a good role player. Love is a good role player. Andre Drummond can play defense and rebound. And then you get a guy like the Greek freak.
Yep.
That team's on the board.
I actually don't understand though. Like, why did they go out and get Andre Drummond, and why didn't they move Kevin Love? I didn't understand that. Just from, I guess, an outsider's point of view, but I maybe for the future, I don't know. But
yeah, I mean, if you're gonna get Andre Drummond the way he is right now, I think a team that wanted to win now would have got Andre Drummond. You know what I mean? Who was missing a center?
That's what I was thinking.
But it is what it is, and the Detroit Pistons are in full rebuild mode. So Brett Brown would be great to try to start the process there, bro.
Hey, Brett Brown will have another job.
He will.
I think that Brett Brown will have another job, and we'll see what happens there. I think it'll be one of these lower tier teams, like you said, the Cavs, Pistons. Imagine Brett Brown in New York with the Knicks. That would go over well.
Yeah, right. They're just almost as bad as us when it comes to criticizing and whatnot. But so this answer, I believe, was when we asked who's going to win the finals, and she said Miami. Just kidding, but not really. Go ahead, and RB, you can take that one.
Well, I don't think Miami will win the finals. I think Jimmy Butler is the dude. But I said this on my video, too, about who I would want the Sixers to play in the first round. And a whole bunch of Miami fans were coming at me. And I was like, why? All I said was that Bam is developing into a star. But I need to see a little more of it. Duncan Robinson is a nice, piece. Kendrick is a nice rookie. When you get to the playoffs, it's a different atmosphere. Young dudes, it's hard to see a lot of young dudes step up at the same time. I know Jimmy's going to hold them accountable. I know Spoelstra knows what he's doing. But I thought Miami would go out and get another star at the deadline. They went out and got Iguodala. It was a nice move. But I don't think the Heat have enough to beat the Bucks. The way Toronto's playing defense, you know what I mean?
I'll be right there.
Got you. All right. Anybody? Let's read some comments. I can't put them up on the screen for now, but as far as the finals pick, I'm going to go with the Bucks over the Clippers. I think the Bucks are going to make the finals. Anybody but the Bucks. Wisconsin the worst. Cavs fans, more like crumbs. Let's see. What's up, North Philly? Right now, we're talking about who do you think is going to go to the finals? Which two teams and which team do you think is going to win? Let me know. For me personally, I think it's going to be. Well, I mean, it's hard to say now because momentum can get messed up. But I still think the Bucks are going to go, and I think the Lakers are going to go, and I think it'll be a good series. The Bucks, they've had times where their guys are all off on one night. But in the end, I mean, Giannis just keeps getting better. And I think the Lakers with LeBron, AD, I mean, look, the Lakers did the right thing. They have some role pieces, and AD is going to step up in the playoffs for sure. And LeBron just makes them a whole heck of a lot better.
Where did you just leave off? What were you?
We're still talking about who's going to go to the final. I gave my prediction. I said Lakers over Bucks. What do you think?
I think what happened to Giannis last year, having Kawhi Leonard, with the wall they had with Pascal, Ibaka, and Gasol. I think he learned from that, and the Bucks look really tough. I definitely see the Bucks going. And although the Clippers give the Lakers problem, and they only won 1 out of the 3 games, I agree with you, and I'll take the Lakers. And you say you take the Lakers over the Bucks?
Yeah. I think LeBron and AD are the real deal. And like you said, for Kobe, the whole thing, man. I think it's the Lakers' time.
Yeah, I think although Giannis is shaping out to be he's a problem. I don't think he can handle both them two, both AD and LeBron. And playoff LeBron. Like, remember, we kind of maybe forgot because we didn't see it last year. We didn't see it last year, first time in a long time. Yep. But playoff LeBron.
And he doesn't have Jordan Clarkson, Matthew Dellavedova. He has Anthony Davis. Keep that in.
Let's get to this real quick. Superhero 18. He's not the worst coach ever. He's also not one of the better coaches. I think he's the perfect coach for what he was hired for in 2013, but he's not a high caliber type coach. That was really well said. Really well said. I agree with it. Hired to start running a team where we didn't know what direction we were going. Now that we got the direction and we see that the ceiling is second round exit, we need to get a coach who's going to get us off this plateau and past this second round exit ceiling. That is well said. He's not a bad coach. I could probably name coaches. Well, he's not the worst coach. There's probably coaches that are worse than him, but he's not right for Philly, and he's not getting the job done when we feel these players can do better with a better coach. Now, the coach leaves, and these players still Ben Simmons does not get any better with shooting or even attempt it. Then we start to see was maybe more of just the players not just responding to Brett, but just not being able to respond the way we thought they could.
Yep. And, it's not all on Brett. Obviously, we do need more shooters. It's like we built this team with 3 forwards. That obviously doesn't look well. I don't think Ellen predicted Brett would start these guys for the first half of the season together. In the playoffs, I'm hoping, whenever we come back, I hope Al Horford just comes strictly as a 6-man. He can play starter minutes. But I don't know if him and Embiid are going to work on the court together, especially in the playoffs. We need shooting. We need to be quick.
North Philly Net, yo, bro, just tuning in. What's to talk about? We got Sixers right now. We went a whole 180 on this 360, if you want to call it. Went from Sixers to the Eagles. We talked the draft. We talked free agency, and now we finishing up. We only got a little bit longer. Again, I actually thought we were only going to come on here for an hour, maybe an hour and 30, and we closed in on that 2-hour mark. Like I said, you guys chopping it up with us, it makes the time go by easily. Again, as the job we're doing, you guys make it easy as possible on us with your questions and your input too. Much respect and much love to everybody in the chat. If you just got here, it's cool too. But some of these guys been rocking with us since 8:30, and that's much love and respect to all you guys.
Shout out to y'all. If you stayed in the stream the whole time, man, shout out to you.
Especially in the transition, because like I said, I know there's a lot of Philly fans who ride or die with the Sixers, but not so much the Eagles, and vice versa. So we had our mixture match. We had guys who only came in here, talked to Eagles, and left, and vice versa with the Sixers. But at the end of the day, as a YouTuber creator, we're going to talk about both. We put a Sixers video out, and you're sub to us, go check it out.
Yep.
Like the Eagles, don't check them out, but we get content on both almost daily, so it is what it is.
I actually want to ask you and the chat, anyone who's in here, What like say the season comes back in a month or 2 months, whatever, right? What do we do? Do we play 10 games and then jump right into the playoffs? Do we pick it up where we left off? We just go right into the playoffs. I'm interested to see what kind of actions they take in order to do that. I want to hear what you think about that, though. Like, what's the best thing to do?
The chat let us know as well. I think there's no way they could just go right to the playoffs, because that, I think, would be another tale of cheating, because you got a couple guys who are fighting for that 8th seed. It's like, in the next 10 games, I could have made my run to the playoffs with them extra games. So I think they would have to keep it all fairness, even though there's no really, I mean, we've never been, this is uncharted territory. You know what I'm saying? To go on this big of a break and then come back and play 10 games, who knows? But I think it would be unfair to a team who's fighting. Like, look at the East. That 8th seed is up for grabs by like 3 teams. They're all trash teams, but hey, a playoff appearance is a playoff appearance.
Yep, I agree.
So real quick before I get to them, iShine 101 said you can put Luka on the Cavs and they will compete now. I kind of agree.
I mean, Luka's a baller, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not saying that the Mavericks are going to have any traction come playoff time, but the Mavericks have impressed me for sure. Pairing Luka up with like Chris Tapps and all them boys out there, they play hard. They've been interesting. Luka's going to be a stud.
He is. Superhero 18, Eddie Jordan. Remember that one?
Yeah, Superhero always brings great insight. Like,
he definitely does.
Chat all that, man. Shout out to him. Word.
iShine 101. He had the Sixers versus Clippers. I don't know if he was talking about that at the finals, or I don't know.
Hey, man, don't sleep on the Clippers either.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, that Western Conference showdown, Lakers and Clippers, I'm banking all my money on it. Playoff Kawhi versus playoff LeBron. Hey, I'll be there.
So Superhero says that seems to be one of the opinions. 10 games and then the playoffs. That's fair enough.
Yep. Gotta get the rust off a little bit.
Yeah, definitely before playoffs. Ronald said push back next season. I don't know. That regardless, there's going to be some type of domino effect of people being very tired with, just say, God forbid they take all the way to August. That would be wild. I don't think so. That's a long time. We're in what? We're in March. August is what, 5 months away?
I don't think it's going to go to that either.
But even no matter what, a season's going to start where the guys are more tired than what they are used to being. And if we push back this season, it's just going to, you just can't keep constantly pushing it back. Eventually you got to get to regularly scheduled programs. But I agree, it's going to be a real hard decision. DJ Eastwood said in his video today, they already had her sitting at the table round meeting, whatever you want to call it. And they're just undecided. Some GMs are like, nah, we don't want to play with no fans. Some are like, yeah, we should. Some are like this. Everybody's leaning different ways. And so it's really going to be interesting to see what happens. But in the meantime, what are we going to do?
I don't know. It's just one after the other. Like, what's going to happen? I don't know.
iShine said, well said by Superhero, but honestly, should he have been here 7 damn years, to be honest? That's where the problem comes.
Yep.
Isaac, if I say your last name wrong, don't kill me because I'm horrible at names. Go ahead. You can say it actually, RB, because I don't know if I can say it.
Isaac Shelik.
Sounds good to me. Al Horford looks better. Again, a very, very small sample size with these 2 games. And it's 2 different games, because you had one game where he looked different and better without Joel Embiid. And then he had a game with Joel Embiid, and the dude played up to par. But I do got to say this. When you look at it, that stat line looks great. Joel Embiid dropping 30. Al Horford dropping 20, 50 points together, being able to score, but he was 4 of 6 from the 3-point line. We're not going to get that every time from him. So when he's not hitting threes and he's like, damn, I can't buy a 3-point shot, let me creep down to the paint, That's when we have the problem. Al Horford in the paint, Joel Embiid in the paint, Ben Simmons runs down to the paint. That's where it gets clogged. If Al Horford can consistently hit threes, he don't have to be 4 of 6 every time. Come on now. But what I'm saying is, if he can consistently do it, because there's games where he was 0 for 10.
And he shouldn't be taking that much.
And so, yeah, that kind of got us in the hole. And then when he realized he shouldn't shoot, what does he do? He goes into the post where he belongs, but not when you have Joel Embiid and him down there. So it's really hard. I think Brent Brown can get away with playing them sparingly together, but not as a starting. When Brent Brown first benched Al Horford and we played the Clippers, that game was beautiful. That game brought so much hope because it's not just one win. One win against the Bucks on Christmas Day is like, okay, but you still acted the same. The fact that he went ahead and thought and said, you know what? I'm going to bench Al Horford. I see it's not working. And then immediately the results show we put the Clippers in their place. I felt type good about that.
Yep. That was a statement game. You had Kawhi, PG coming in here, and that was one of the games where it just felt like a playoff atmosphere. And we shut them down. And like you said, we brought Al Horford to be the insurance policy for Embiid. I loved when Brett made that adjustment, but it shouldn't have took that long. Things take way too long with that man. And now to me, it looks like he's just going to go right back to what we were doing before. But in the playoffs, I'm telling you, Al needs to come off the bench when Embiid goes out. You cannot play them together. You can't. Because what if they're both on the bench at the same time? Who's going to man the paint? Unless you put Simmons down at the 5. But I just don't think we have enough to do that.
Yeah. I like Simmons at the 4 at times, but not the 5. Yeah. Nick Jura, I think Al will step up in the playoffs. It would be in his veteran nature to really step up when the games really count. He's a veteran. He's an older player. Who knows what he's kind of holding back, trying. It's a long season. I mean, he got the time to rest too now. But
I also like Simmons at the 4, though, potentially. But anyone, feel free to answer. Like, what do you think would be the best starting 5, barring that Simmons comes back and he's healthy? Like, what do you think is the key starting 5 to really igniting this team, What do you think?
Yeah, let's let the chat go first and then we'll go. Let's answer some of these. Superhero 18, I think it might be June. He thinks around June-ish. I Shine 101, finals watch, how Sixers turn it around. Hey, it would be for an odd season, it would just fit right in the whole odd place. But I mean, it's going to take a lot. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm also not going to Vegas and putting 100 on the Sixers to make the finals.
I'll do a lot before I did that.
I just like Shake and Embiid looking good together showed a lot of hope. I agree.
Shake's got to take more shots, though. He was on that. He's still on a tear, in my opinion. I mean, the dude, every time I see him, he's shooting lights out.
Yeah.
Make him a focal point until Ben comes back. Please.
So here's your first starting 5. Dominic says Simmons, Shake, J. Rich, Tobias, and Embiid. And I agree exactly with that starting lineup. But what I will do with that starting lineup is take Simmons and move him to the 4.
Yep.
Shake, move him to the point guard, and then slide Tobias to small forward and Jay Rich to shooting guard. Now, listen, with Ben Simmons being the 4, that does not mean he can't run point guard. Right. But what I'm trying to say is this. When we get a rebound and we're on a fast break, outlet the ball to Ben Simmons and let Ben Simmons run in transition where he is a monster. Let him do it. But now the team that we're playing against scores a basket on us, and we going to walk the court, ball up slowly. Shake Milton brings the ball up, runs the pick and roll with Ben Simmons. Now Ben Simmons sets a pick at 6'10" on a 6-foot point guard maybe, and then he rolls to the basket, and he's so dirty at cutting to the basket, getting the ball, and finishing. Again, when people Ben Simmons is a point four. So he can handle the ball in certain situations. He's just not really good at the half court set. And that's because the guy who's playing defense while he's at the 3-point line is in the paint.
Yep. I would agree with everything you said. I mean, Simmons can do so much for your offense. Like, he can't be limited to one certain thing. Like you said, he can set a pick and roll and go up for an oop. Or you can switch it. You can give Shake and let him bring the ball down. Or if you want to push the tempo, you can let Simmons come down and bring the ball quickly and, let Shake post up for a three. Or I just want to see more off-ball movement too, Whether it's a guy setting a screen in the corner, Shake rolls up, catch and shoot. I don't know, but sometimes it just gets too stale. But when Ben Simmons is on the court, for the most part, I just see things moving rapidly. There's a flow to it, and without him, I think it's clear. You can see it's not there.
Yeah, if you just look, when Trey Burke was on a team, when Trey Burke was in, Joel Embiid and Trey Burke worked great together. Trey Burke and Ben Simmons worked great together. I do not like Neto. I don't. But there's been times when Neto's on the court and Ben Simmons is playing that transition point guard and point forward. He's just dirty. And like Superhero 18 said, which I'll get to, he's a mismatch galore for another four. A guy like Kevin Love trying to D Ben Simmons, again, he's big enough to D Ben Simmons in the muscle post, but Ben Simmons is too quick and still has that muscle he can muscle guys who are the four, but he's way faster than them guys. So, I mean, you get a guy who picks like that, he's too quick to the basket. It just creates so many problems. And if you go back and look when Ben Simmons dropped 36. Watch every game that Ben Simmons drops more than 30 points. Watch that game, and I guarantee you he has somebody else playing the point guard at the half-court set, and Ben Simmons thrives off that. But you get the rebound, and you're trying to go in transition, nobody's better than Ben Simmons going down the court, making either the basket himself or making a decision. He's great at that.
Yep, you hit it right on the spot. I mean, Simmons is just like, he's so quick. Like, we've seen stuff like it, but all the tools mixed together. Simmons is a unique type of beast. And that's why, sometimes I hate it if he's driving to the basket and he passes out, because he can finish. Like, the way the dude finishes, he can literally do anything when it comes to going to the basket. I mean, they know what Ben Simmons is going to do with the ball, and they still can't stop it.
Yeah.
You're telling me when this dude gets an adequate jump shot, he's unstoppable.
Just a little one, and he'll be really good. Real quick, let's answer this one. Sixers will get hot at the right time. Watch 2017 all over again. Football. Hey, You never know. Bob Black. Do y'all play 2K? Yes, we both do. And if you're a subscriber to one of us, definitely subscribe to the other. I don't know who you're subscribed to. If you're not subscribed to neither, do it. But yes, soon I'm trying to give my gamer tag out to some of my subscribers so we can get some games on the low. And what I'll do, win or loss, I might use them for a quick part. I probably won't put the whole game because I don't think, some people watch it who like to watch gaming channels, but I'll put one or two great plays and then show the game score. If I take a loss, I'll take a loss. But soon, I'm actually in the process of moving, but me and RB are going to play 2K, and I promise we're going to get some of them results on the tube. We're going to do it on the tube, and when we share it, we're going to share it on both pages. Win or lose, somebody's going to it is what it is.
We'll let them know. We'll let them know how it goes, but hey, I'm pretty good at 2K. I'm just saying. That's where my roots are, man. See me with the sticks.
See me with the sticks. Superhero 18 said, Philly take with RB said, barring Simmons. So my lineup right now, if we were playing games today, would be Shake, Jay Rich, Glenn Robb, Harris, and Embiid.
I don't mind that. I mean, like I've been saying, Glenn Robinson III needs the minutes to get in his groove. Alec Burks needs the minutes to get in his groove. It's been up and down since they've been there. But that's actually a great point. And I wanted to ask you about this. What is the playoff rotation going to look like? I don't know. Like when you said that point about Neto, I'm like, this dude is getting sometimes getting 20 minutes a game. Is he going to play a minute in the playoffs? Like why? Why is Mike Scott going to be playing all these minutes in the playoffs? I get it. People are hurt, but we got to be realistic about it, people.
True. And here we go. Superhero 18. Hey, maybe you guys can stream the game when you play. See, actually, I want to learn how to do that actually where I can stream. I know how to stream it probably live, but I want to do it also where we can talk on it. So you can hear our conversation, we can see the chat. And I don't want RB saying, well, I'm reading the chat, that's why you're beating me. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Hey man.
Nah, I'm just messing.
Listen, with sticks.
Hey, I'm going to say this right now. Listen, I'm really good at 2K, but if you had to ask me to pick, am I better at 2K or Madden? I hint Madden up a little bit. So I'm not no excuses. I still love my game in 2K. I play with any team.
Any team.
Yeah. But you know, one of us got to be the Sixers to keep everybody watching enjoyable, you know?
I'll be the Sixers and I'll make the right line. I will coach the Sixers how they should be coached. All right. I'm not gonna play Raul Neto 20 minutes. I'm not gonna put Al Horford in the starting line. We will get these boys running. You will see how the Sixers should play.
This is a very interesting question. We got about 10 more minutes on here, and then we're gonna get off. We're gonna get to all the questions, of course. But this is a very interesting question. Dominic said, what type of player do you guys think Shea can develop into? Go ahead, RB.
Let's see. In terms of this team, I think Shea can develop into being that second guard, like we said, that we need on the court. That combo guard that can, pull up and make shots and can also get other guys involved. I want to see him add a little bit of weight and strength. But overall, I'm liking what I see from Shake. If he keeps that aggressive mentality, that mindset, and he's knocking down like he is now, trust me, he is going to be a focal part of this Sixers team going forward. We need more of that.
I agree. And as of now, I would like him in a starting lineup because of the lack of Ben Simmons shooting and what I think he can do with a guy dribbling the ball on a half-court set. But in the future, if this team adds one more piece, I wouldn't mind Shake Milton playing starters minutes, but being able to do something like Lou Williams does, where you get instant offense. Because we've seen numerous times that the Sixers start out hot. They take Joel Embiid out at the midway of the first and maybe somebody else out, and then this team gets cold. Well, especially without Ben Simmons. But we're talking about if the team was healthy. But Shake Milton, I want him to be more aggressive, like RB says. Is he a great passer? He can get the job done. But what I like about him is being able to create offense, get to the hole, shoot the three. So if you can get your roster where it is, I would love for someone to give us that sweet Lou, that instant offense off the bench. So when you do take a guy out, a dominant player like Joel Embiid, because you got to think, when Joel Embiid's in the game, if we have 10 possessions, there's times where out of 10 possessions, 6 of them go to Embiid, and he deserves it. He calls for the ball on the block. You got to give it to that guy. But that's what I'm saying. So a guy like Shake Milton, we keep giving it to him. Shake gets a little bit rusty when it's time for him to do it. But when you get Shake Milton coming in, when Joel Embiid's going out, you get some instant offense. The flow is different. So you need a little bit of both. But I do like Shake's potential.
Yep. And actually, to the starting lineup point, this probably is not a popular opinion, but if we can get the Matisse Thybulle that I saw earlier this year, the way he was shooting that ball before he got injured, people are saying it's a rookie wall. I know Bros thinks it was a rookie wall. It might be part of that, but I think it was really that injury. Like I can see his form is different. But if we get him shooting the ball with the way he plays defense, I would start Matisse Thybulle next season, possibly.
Yeah. So Bob Black said, what mode y'all going to play? What do you say mode? Do you mean like if we're going to play park or this, that, and the third? Or
yeah, we'll probably play now. I mean,
yeah, a play now game, so we can get a Sixers versus somebody. It is, but at the end of the day, we'll play and we'll see what it is. I know you meant in 2K. What I'm saying is the really park and or just a regular team game, and so we're not playing park because I don't got to create a character. I actually been slacking on that this year because really busy. The only times I've been playing is on the weekends when I'm a little bit of this, and I play online. I don't like to play the game just. I don't like to do anything like story modes are okay, like 2K is pretty cool, but I'm just a guy who gets on, plays a couple games online, takes my W's and walks away. You know what I'm saying? Something like.
Yeah, I was playing Park for a while, but it got really boring, man. It was like the same game as last year, so had to get off of that, honestly.
But with that being said, and us being caught up with this chat, it's time to go. I also I got to get up at 5:30 in the morning. So like I said, I really thought this was going to be from 8:30 to 9:30, maybe 10. But like I said, you guys keep it funky. RB, every time I'm like, you know what? We get into some good conversation and boom, next you know, it is what it is. And I don't want my immune system to get too low. You know what I'm saying?
I'm really thinking about buying a hazmat suit. Every time I walk out of the house, I'm thinking about wearing a hazmat suit.
Damn, look at already my boy. Well, he's not my boy no more, but Ronald said my bet on RB.
Hey, Ronald knows the deal. He knows what's up, man.
All right, give it to the I mean, the younger guy, he has more time. I'll give it to him, I guess. You know what I'm saying? I just kidding. No, but all right, we're gonna play. We're gonna play for sure. And he has to go with you. You're gonna be the Sixers. They're all gonna be rooting for you.
Yep. Hey, shout out to my boy Superhero too.
Oh, there we go though. Yeah. I got back. I got the feeling that when the competitive juice flow, he brings it. Let's go. No, but at the end of the day, if you do pick the Sixers, win or lose, when we run it back, then I'll get the Sixers. Because of course I play with any team, but the team I play with the most is the Sixers. But what I like to do, listen, when I play online, I take the Sixers because I don't care who the other person picks. I hate that you can't see, and sometimes it's Sixers versus Sixers. You know what I'm saying? Some dumb stuff. But what I do is when one of my boys come to my house and we play, it's straight up. We get three spins on random. So you get random, whatever team he does a random, and then you get three of them, and you got to pick one of these three. Simple. You can get the Magic, the Hawk, and the Golden State Warriors with all these injuries. You got to pick one of these three. Simple and plain. Get your game up.
Yep.
Yo, look. Bob said, I got the guy in the black hat. Hey, listen, you might be new to the channel. So like I said, regardless, check out the Philly Talk podcast and check out the Philly Take with RB. Great stuff on them channels. All you got to do, I never tell you to just sub me blindly or RB. Watch a video. If you like it, hit that red button.
Yes, sir. We will be streaming more too.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with this break and everything, man. Yeah. Let us know what y'all want. It's gonna be interesting for sure, but we're gonna be back here.
And we'll try to get some at better times too, you know what I mean? Not really going later, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people, a lot of people who watch this too got to go to work and whatnot. So it is what it is. But we're going to be doing some stuff. If you guys got ideas, always let us know in the comment section on our videos. And it is what it is. Until next time, be safe and all that stuff. Ronald's out too. He said, night, guys. Great podcast. I appreciate it.
Shout out to Ronald and Superhero. Y'all been here since 8:30 sharp, man. Shout out to them.
Movie opinions and stuff. Hey, we can always get something popping. But at the end of the day, our first non-actual podcast talking is probably going to be this stream. I'm going to figure out how to do it where we can talk and stuff on it, and we'll take care. But like I said, until next time, be easy, guys, and try to survive with no sports. We'll keep you guys updated on our stuff and how we feel about it, and hopefully something breaks through.
And be safe, everyone, for sure. Most importantly, be safe.
Until next time, peace.